the big key is to get the first goal for us. If we can get the first goal or two, I think the game could be over in the first period. But against the Czechs, they got the first, the second, and the third goal, and then you have a tough game against them. We got to be careful at the start of the game and be ready for the start.
Standings tell the story. It's going to be added insurance for Sweden to pick up another victory. But even after Thursday's 8-1 loss to the Soviets, the Germans are not down or out.
Well, we're not down at all. We played 2 good periods against the Russians. In the last period, we just tried to play a little bit too offensively, and we got burned. Engelbrecht, the other goalie, played really well, but you know, when they're buzzing around the net 3 against 1 and things like that, then it's impossible to stop them.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Hewitt in Calgary at the Olympic Saddledome along with Don Edwards. And today, Sweden tries to move up in the standings of Canada Cup 84, while Germany still wants to prove they belong in this tournament. Don, Mats Naslund said they have to score the first goal. Germany is going to come out flying today.
Well, they certainly are, but the Swedes the big backbone for the Swedish team has been Peter Lindmark. He certainly played well, and I know Lee Fork is very, very happy with his play.
Well, we're looking forward to an exciting game today. Of course, Sweden has surprised a lot of people. Their intimidation the other night of Canada, they threw their weight around and really dominated that game. So stay tuned now from Calgary and the Olympic Saddledome. Canada Cup 84 continues. It's Team Sweden against Germany.
Good afternoon and welcome to TSN Control. I'm Jim Van Horn, here your host today for this game between Germany and Sweden, coming to you from the Saddledome in Calgary, Alberta. Joining us for our telecast this afternoon, former NHL referee, now retired and in the broadcast business, Mr. Bruce Hood, and NHL assistant coach Roger Nielsen of the Chicago Blackhawks. Roger, this game really means very little to the Germans. They're going to go out today probably and have some fun and play the spoiler role.
I don't know if I agree with you or not. I think, as we heard Carl Friesen say, they still think they're in it. And they've got games today against Sweden and then against the USA. They could end up with 5 points. And I think they think that they've got a real shot at it, and they're going to come out and play that way.
Bruce, the Swedes are in a position, a win today would solidify their chances as well to make the playoffs and really put the heat on Canada to win tonight.
Oh, that's right. You know, it's interesting because Team Sweden in the last series, I mean, they were just terrible. And I think they're happy to be invited back. They have a new coach, new players, and big win over Team Canada. And it's going to be awfully interesting to see if they'll maintain that same standard of play today against Team Germany.
A lot of people are surprised at the physical play that the Swedes have been involved in. Has it surprised you?
It has. You know, I thought way back when I saw them play first in the first series that they would have a lot more zip to them. And it's interesting because when they played against Team USA, they started out and for about the first 10 minutes or so of the first period, they looked great. I don't know. It seems like the other night they got an extra shot of adrenaline, and they were just flying. It was beautiful.
Roger, Kent Nilsson and Håkan Loob, both Calgary Flames during the regular NHL season. Thomas Gradin also plays in the West for the Vancouver Canucks. Does this game mean extra to them playing in the West against basically their hometown fans?
I think it does for Loob and Nielsen. They'll come up big, as Canada's expecting Reggie Lemelin to do as well. But I don't think you can bump the Swedes necessarily. I know Thomas Gradin, Sundstrom, Hawkinson, players I've coached cannot be intimidated. So that I don't think the Germans are going to try to bump them, and I think the Swedes are going to win this one.
Okay, we're looking forward to a good hockey game, and we'll find out very, very quickly. Now, let's go to the Saddledome in Calgary for our pregame ceremonies.
On defense, number 5, Michael Telvane.
We are at the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary, and the official lineups now being introduced. The game today between Sweden and Germany. This is Ron Hewitt along with Don Edwards. The officials for our game today, the referee will be Brian Lewis. The two linesmen working the game will be Gerard Gauthier and from Czechoslovakia, Jan Tadacek. In goal for Germany, Carl Friesen is going to start. And also for Sweden, it will be Peter Lindmark. We now go to center ice for the official ceremonies for this game.
He is accompanied by 15-year-old Randy Dick, winner of the SO Medal of Achievement Award for Most Sportsmanlike Player. To perform the ceremonial face-off, we are pleased, through the courtesy of SO, to present one of Canada's outstanding Olympic athletes, Carolyn Waldo. Carolyn Waldo, Olympic medalist in synchronized swimming at the Los Angeles Summer Games. Could we have the team captains to centerize, please? Carolyn Waldo and 15-year-old Randy Dick will perform the ceremonial face-off. Thank you, Carolyn and gentlemen. As is the custom in international hockey, the two captains now exchange gifts on behalf of their teams. Thank you and good luck to both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the organizing country, Canada. We urge you to join vocalist Susan Smith and organist Rick LeBlanc.
Brian Lewis, experienced NHL gentleman, will handle the referee duties. Linesmen are Gerard Gauthier and also from Czechoslovakia, Jan Tadacek. The goaltender for Sweden today will be Peter Lindmark. Lindmark has played very well for Sweden throughout Canada Cup '84, Don.
He's been certainly a big backbone. He's a good stand-up goalkeeper and maybe plays a little bit like the North American style, where we challenge to shoot a little bit more than the Europeans.
Well, of course, this is a key game today for Sweden. In goal for Germany is Carl Friesen, who hails from Winnipeg, and this will be his 5th year playing for Germany.
Well, he certainly played well against Canada, and he certainly played well against the Czechs. And I know, talking to the German coach, he expects the big guy to come up with another big effort tonight.
Starting on defense for Germany will be Uda Kiesling along with Andreas Niederberger. The forward line will be Gerd Truschka at center ice on the right side, Holger Meitinger, and on the left side, Marcus Kuhl. For Sweden on defense, Michael Telvin and Peter Anderson. The forwards will be Thomas Gradin, Pat Sundstrom, and Peter Sundstrom. Those are the starting lineups for both teams as we await the start of this game as Canada Cup '84 continues. You can see that the Soviet Union in first place, and Don, that statistics show that Soviets have held down their goals against. Only 3 goals have been scored against the Soviets.
Well, it's certainly a key factor in the tournament. The Soviets have worked very, very hard on defense.
Svetlov leads in the individual scoring race with a total of 6 points. He has scored 4 goals and picked up 2 assists. Behind 1 point is Mike Bossy, along with Eric Hoofner and Coffey for Canada. So although Canada has had some problems individually, they're doing well in the individual scoring race. But of course, Canada wants to do more than that. This game is underway. Puck is shot down to Swedish territory. Icing is called. And the face-off will come back to the German zone.
I'm sure at the start of this game, you're going to see the Germans really go after the Swedes, try and force them, the Swedish defensemen to handle the puck in their own end.
Coming in to take the face-off is Pat Sundstrom for Sweden. Puck goes back into the corner, taken by Peter Sundstrom. Germany trying to move it out. Pressure is on. Germany having some difficulty. Off the boards, but not out. It is kept in by Michael Telveen. Puck is still in German territory. A backhand. That was knocked down. Right in front. A quick shot and a big save by Friesen from point-blank range by Peter Sundstrom.
Well, Friesen just sort of waited, made Peter Sundstrom make his move, and the big guy was on his feet. Good concentration on the puck. Peter Sundstrom gets in behind, and the German defense caught napping a bit. The big guy gets good sight of the puck and is able to control the rebound. Big opening save for the German goalie.
Carl Friesen in goal for Germany. Puck comes sliding back down to Swedish territory behind the blue line. Trying to get it out, failing to do so. It's kept in by Rainer Blum of Germany. Now Sweden on the move. Over the left side comes Håkan Loob. Back to the point at the blue line. A shot. That went wide. Going into the corner is Kent Nilsson. Centered it out in front. No one was there. Steiger carries it up in over the line. Helmut Steiger back behind the Swedish goal. Lost it. Trying to center it in front. Oh, and Steiger just missed. Standing in front of goaltender Peter Lindmark. Ernst Hübner trying to keep it in for Germany. Failed to do so. As it comes out to Håkan Loob. Back for it is Rainer Blum. Blum decides to carry it himself. Simply shoots it down to the Swedish zone. Mats Thelin is there to touch it, and icing is called. So after early going in the first period, there is no score. Sweden no score. Germany no score. Canada Cup 84.
Oh, we know what, we know how. We know we're born and we're born it now. So only the best will do. And the best is that Pepsi taste that keeps coming through. Come on, Pepsi now. You want the best taste. Come on and taste that best taste. Come on and make yours Pepsi now. Yeah.
This faceoff will go to the right of goaltender Carl Friesen. Came up with a big save in the early seconds of the first period. Puck is to the right of Friesen in the corner. Germany having some difficulty getting it out every time Sweden gets it in the German zone, Don.
Well, just a little bit of the inexperience, and I'm sure the German coach will have something to say about it.
Mats Thelin, his shot hit a leg. Here's another shot. They score! Mats Naslund.
Well, Mats Naslund got shot, left open. Shot from the point comes in. He just happened to delay and stand back. Got the rebound. Nats is just hanging off, circles, gets the puck. Carl Friesen a little off balance, gets to his feet, but as you can see, the German defenseman goes down to try and block it and screens Carl Friesen. One of the things is for a defenseman, don't leave your feet, because once you leave your feet, you're ineffective. If Friesen does make the save, he's out of a position, and a good thing for a young defenseman to watch.
2:11 the time. Mats Naslund pulling Team Sweden in front by a score of 1-0. Puck in German territory. A shot right on, that time by Michael Telveen. Germany trying to get out. It comes back to center. Here's the official announcement.
Assisted by number 2, Mats Thelin, and number 16, Bengt Gustafsson. The time 2:11.
If there's one pattern setting up early in this game, it's the quick changes by both coaches. I'm sure that they're both expecting a very physical game, a little uncommon of the European style, but both teams have worked very, very hard in training camp of taking the body.
From Thelin and Gustafsson at 2:11.
Face-off will go to the left of Carl Friesen. To take the face-off, Pat Sundstrom for Sweden. The draw goes back. Niederberger tried to clear it out, failed to do so. Here is a shot that went wide. Telvin let it go from the blue line. Germany again having difficulty, and now it was ruled that it was knocked forward with the glove. And so in the first period, Sweden leads Germany 1-0 on Canada Cup 1984.
Skimming the waves like a bird on a wing. Grab on tight, get a hold of that thing. We're up and away, trying to get through the blue. Keeping friends close, making the most of those blue sky days. And blue smiles along with you. The taste keeps coming on through. That's blue smiles along with you.
Well, Friesen made the one big save, and then, of course, let in the one goal so far by Naslund. And we're going to have a face-off outside of the German line. Michael Telvin gets it in right in front. Failing to get a stick on it was Pat Sundstrom. Germany trying to get out. Again being tied up. Pat Sundstrom took his man out of the play, and Peter Sundstrom tried to center it. Kiesling lost it right in front of backhand, just went wide. That was Peter Sundstrom. Sweden really putting the pressure on. Standing on a shot, and now a whistle on the play. Ryan Lewis is going to call a penalty.
Looked like Kiesling for holding off to the right of the German net. Gets caught in a little position, gives it a little hook, and he's off to the box. And I'm sure the Swedes would like to get one here and get the Germans down by 2.
So now the Swedes will have the man advantage, with Udo Kiesling going to the penalty box, hooking 3:24.
Udo Kiesling, 2 minutes for interference. Time at 3:24. Kiesling for interference at 3:24.
Puck comes down and over the line. Taking it along the boards, Kent Nilsson. Put it back to the blue line, lost it, and a race for it. Puck goes loose inside the Swedish blue line. Okenlube back behind his own goal. A pass right side for Nilsson. Nilsson still has it. Back behind the goal, right out in front, a quick shot. Save after Thomas Steen let it go. At center ice, Nilsson, a pass. In over the line, went Steen, couldn't control it. And the puck is still in German territory. Okenlube has it. Sweden has the man advantage. There's 1:07 remaining in the penalty. Here's a shot right on. Friesen the save. Loose puck. And it's drilled off the boards back down to Swedish territory.
Well, the German defense has to work a little harder in front of the net. Carl Friesen just hasn't got enough room in there to really get good position in the net.
Puck out to center ice. Nilsson in over the line. Coming with Hawkinson. Nilsson dropping it back to the blue line. Over to the point for Bo Eriksson. A shot. Friesen the save. Back to the line again, a drive, and that went high. Thomas Eriksson let that one go, and the puck comes all the way back down to the Swedish zone with 28 seconds now remaining in the penalty.
The confidence of the Swedish team is definitely showing in this first period.
Puck to center ice. Up in over the line, coming right in a goal. Oh, and failing to get a shot away was Naslund. Could have robbed Friesen, Had difficulty handling the puck, Don.
Well, he certainly did, but the speed of Nats Naslund, he certainly shows it here. He beats the defense to the inside, and maybe a little bit of lack of communication on the part of the German defense. You should be calling for, on a 2-on-2 or a 2-on-1, which man's going to take him. You definitely don't get caught with a man going in between. And Carl Friesen again called to make a big save. You just can't allow this to happen with Naslund's speed.
We've got 10 seconds remaining in the penalty for Udo Kiesling. Face-off will go in German territory. Getting set for the draw. And the linesman Tadacek rules Gustafsson out of the face-off circle. Weil is back for it for Germany and shoots it all the way down to the Swedish zone. And the penalty is up to Kiesling. Sweden did not score while they had the man advantage. That's Naslund, a pass right side, and that was intercepted by Rio. A rink-wide pass intended for Franz Reindl. That was intercepted. Coming down, in over the line, dropping it back. Here is a quick shot. That bounced off a leg. Puck is in German territory, coming out to the center ice area. Turning is Telveen. There's 14 minutes remaining here in the first period. Germany against Sweden, with Sweden leading. Carrying it up over the line is Reindl. Reindl lost it. Sweden comes back. Down the right side, Thomas Sandstrom. Sandstrom in over the line, caught offside. And we have 13:45 remaining in the first period. Sweden leads Germany 1-0 on Canada Cup 84.
Skimming the waves like a bird on a wing. Grab on tight, get a hold of that thing. We're hopping away, cutting clear through the blue. Keeping friends close, making the most of those blue sky days. And blue smiles along with you. The taste keeps coming on through. That's blue smiles along with you.
Leif Bork, the coach of the Swedish team, is very, very pleased with the way his team has played. Talking to him earlier, he said that one of the things they're very confident of is that the offensive play, and so they've had to turn around and work hard on their defense, and it definitely paid off against Canada the other night.
Puck over the German blue line. Taking it right in front of the goal, a shot, and Friesen made the save as Sandstrom made a good move in front of Carl Friesen. Puck is lobbed high to center, and a whistle on the play. Offside pass.
Betts, the German player, scored the only goal against the Soviet Union the other night. He's not used a lot, but was one of the most effective players for the German team against the Soviets.
Face-off to take place in German territory at the rim of the circle to the left of goaltender Friesen. Puck along the boards where it's taken by Pat Sundstrom. Sundstrom fighting for it. Comes up with the puck, goes back into the corner. Along the boards. Germany being tied up again, this time by Peter Sundstrom. It comes back for Pat Sundstrom. Lost it, and its bouncing puck goes to center. Forward pass for Pat Sundstrom. Rink wide pass coming in, a shot. Friesen makes the save. Flips puck out in front. And a good play there by Thomas Gradin.
German team just having trouble clearing the puck in front of their own net.
Well, we have another face-off back in German territory with 12:46 remaining.
Udo Kiesling, going to the New Jersey Devils training camp, was hurt earlier in the tournament. And I know that the Devils are really looking forward to getting him. He's got quite a bit of experience with the German national team.
Face-off, a drive right in front, and a good save, and a quick shot by Eldebrink. Puck is to the right of Carl Friesen. Sweden has continuously applied the pressure here in this first period. Now Germany turning at center ice. Comes bouncing back behind goaltender Lindmark. Over in the corner, Kent Nilsson tries to get out. His pass went right onto the stick of Trunchka. A bouncing puck, recovered, kept in though by Trunchka. Now it comes out to the center ice area. Thomas Steen, a pass. Coming down, in over the line is Kent Nilsson. Nilsson into the corner. A shot went to the side of the net. Backhanded behind his own goal. Marcus Kuhl on the right side. A forward pass up to center. And turning at center was Trunchka. Trunchka's pass was intercepted. They go back into the corner. Puck is loose out in front. A bouncing puck, and it's recovered. Carrying it forward is Håkan Lube. Lube tried a pass, and it was way wide of the mark. It bounces back to the German zone, out to the center ice area. Max Tillin, rink-wide pass. Bo Eriksson fires it into German territory, and Peter Scharf recovers for Germany. We've got 11:14 remaining here in the first period. Back behind the German goal is Mats Naslund. Here is a drive right in front, a loose puck, recovered by Germany. Shot down the boards by Meitinger. Back behind the Swedish goal. This is Reindl with the puck, trying to clear it in front. Failing to get to it is Sharp. The Swedish team starting on the move. Here's a 3-on-2 over the line. A shot went wide. Hawkinson let that one go. Back to center ice. Over on the other side was Naslund. Naslund shoots it back behind Carl Friesen. Coming out to center, it's poked over the line by Reindl. And Swedish team members bunch up into the corner to the right of Peter Lindmark. They're having some difficulty moving it out. Now they start out to center. A pass over on the left side. Forward pass in over the line to Jan Clausen. Clausen coming right in front. Back behind the net. Gets it back. And here's a whistle on the play. There's going to be a penalty handed out by referee Brian Lewis as Friesen was knocked down to the ice. This telecast is protected by copyright, is intended solely for the non-commercial entertainment of our viewing audience. Any use, reproduction, or distribution in whole or in part of the pictures or descriptions herein contained without the express written consent of the Sports Network is strictly prohibited.
Ron, the new magnetic nets of the National Hockey League that they'll go to this year, one of the fortunate things about them, with the old pegs, that net would not come off, but in this case, Steiger takes the Swedish player in the net goes off, no one's hurt, except for Friesen. He gets knocked over by a little bit by his own player, and I think it's a good thing as long as those nets will take the support of a good hard shot from the blue line that some of the big defensemen can let go.
Helmut Steiger in the penalty box for holding at 9:59, and now again, Sweden has the man advantage. Germany can't afford penalties against the offensive power of Sweden. Puck comes back to the center ice area. Turning is Eklund. 3 Germans up forechecking. And it worked as the puck was stolen from Telvin. Out to the center ice area. Pass on the right side. It was too far for Thomas Sandstrom. And it comes all the way back down to the Swedish blue line. Coming up at the line, Peter Anderson. Anderson goes into the corner to the left of Friesen. Tries to draw a check. Sweden has the man advantage. Back to the point. Here is a shot. That hit a leg as Sandstrom let it go. A bouncing puck goes into the corner. Eklund has it along the boards. Eklund now trying to draw a check. Gets it back to the point. Back to Eklund. Eklund working in. Drops it back again for Peter Anderson. His shot went wide. Eklund takes it behind the net, right in front. Back to the blue line, a shot, and that was blocked in front. Now it is shot but not out. It is kept in on the right side. Anderson back into the corner. We've got 42 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden seems to be toying with Germany. Loose puck goes to the right of Friesen. Jan Clausen in the corner, the loose puck out in front again. Not cleared out by Germany. Sweden along the boards, and now it is fired by Kiesling back down to the Swedish zone.
penalties like this sometimes seem like they're never going to end. The German team just got running around a little bit in their own end and allowed the Swedes to handle the puck. They've got to keep their positions in a box.
11 seconds remaining in the penalty to Germany's Steiger. Sweden's leading by a score of 1-0. Puck is in German territory as Thomas Eriksson goes back behind his own goal. The penalty is up. Sweden did not score while they had the man advantage. Coming out now is Schiller. Schiller trying to pass. That's knocked down. Turning is Peter Sundstrom. Sundstrom is stopped by Betts. Michael Betts at center. A bouncing puck. And here is a call by Brian Lewis. Sweden 1, Germany no score. We've got 7:37 left. First period, Canada Cup 84.
Here's something new, so you'd better look twice. Yes, it's Labatt's Light, and don't it look nice? You see the bottle's brand new, with a twist off cap too. Still tastes light and so smooth, and it's looking so new. Yes, it's Labatt's Light.
David Unsen, the coach of the German national team, he's a real disciplinarian. He says that hard work and all he wants is a good effort. He's missing some key players. Kuhnackel, one of the big national stars in Germany, drafted by New York Rangers, is missing, and I know he's a big disappointment that he wasn't able to come over.
Coming down the right side is Pat Sundstrom. Up in over the line was Peter Sundstrom. Puck is back behind Friesen in German territory. Trying to tie it up is Rainer Blum. He lost it along the boards. It's taken by Pat Sundstrom. Sundstrom is knocked down to the ice. He managed to squeeze the puck loose. And coming out now, this is Dieter Hagen. Hagen stopped at the Swedish line. Mats Thelin back behind his own goal. Mats Thelin passing on the left side, but too far. And a penalty is going to be assessed to Brian Lewis. It looks as if it's going to be a cross-checking penalty.
Peter Sundstrom just got a little aggressive in the German end. Sort of a senseless penalty. German defenseman chasing the puck, and Peter Sundstrom just has to go around with him. It, you know, gets by, and he's onto the defenseman with the puck, and he just got a little too aggressive.
Peter Sundstrom, 2 minutes for cross-checking. The time 13:12.
13-12. So Germany will have the man advantage for the first time in this hockey game, and we have 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. Bouncing puck in over the Swedish blue line. Back into the corner. Back behind the goaltender, Peter Lindmark. Germany with the man advantage now. Puck comes back for Medicus. Back into the corner again. To the left of Lindmark. As Germany tries to draw a check, gets the puck in front of the goal. Out in front, and it's driven down the ice all the way back down to German territory.
One of the big differences between the German team when they're shorthanded and the Swedish team when they're shorthanded, the Swedish team is just staying in a tight little box, letting the Germans move around on the outside where the puck isn't dangerous.
Puck in over the Swedish line, cleared back to center. A pass to Meitinger. Meitinger shot it in over the line, and Germany was caught on the offside, and there is 52 seconds remaining in the penalty to Peter Sundstrom.
Well, the penalties such as Peter Sundstrom took are a coach's nightmare. No coach likes to see those. Sometimes those can be very, very costly to a team.
Sweden 1, Germany no score. First period. 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Sweden scored on a goal by Mats Naslund at 2:11 of the first period. Puck is shot back to center. Over on the left side. Steiger tried to clear it in. Mats Thelin goes back behind his own goal and shot it back down to German territory with 35 seconds now remaining in the penalty. Passing over on the right side. Here it comes to center with Reindl shooting it in over the line. Off the boards is Hoofner. A shot. Down is Lindmark. A save right between the skates.
Well, Lindmark got a little bit back on his heels. He should be out just a little bit farther with his weight on the front of his skates. On the replay, you can see, though, the good speed of the German player beats the defense from the outside, but look how the weight is back on Lindmark, back of his feet, and the puck almost goes between his legs. If he's got his stick on the ice, and if you're lined up and with your balance, your weight over top of your feet, you're always in good balance, and Lindmark just lost a little bit there.
5:05 remaining. Puck is in Swedish territory. Now it's backhanded to the line. Here is a shot that was knocked down as Ryle let a quick shot go. Puck bounces to center. There's only 4 seconds remaining in the penalty. Going back for it is Reindl. Reindl for Germany. The penalty is up to Peter Sundstrom. Germany did not score while they had the man advantage. Hoofner in over the line, tried to center it for Steiger, couldn't get to it in time, and the puck comes around the boards in Swedish territory. Keeping it in is Joachim Ryle. Ryle tries a pass. Coming in to help out there is Steiger. Steiger centered it. German player couldn't get a stick on it. Down it comes to the left side. 2 players go in over the German blue line. Coming back in front of the net, this was Peter Sundstrom, and penalties are going to be assessed by Brian Lewis as 2 players went heavily along the boards in German territory.
We know you, Blue Nose. New at an old trade with your tourists and your trucks that come and go. We know you make a profit. Well, that's your business. And who begrudges you? For you'll have nights alone there with the wave hiss and the wind scream, and wiser folk like us lie listening to the gale kicking an empty can around the yard. We know you, Blue Nose. We know who you're in business for.
Joachim Ryle and Patrick Sundstrom getting tied up along the boards here, both trying to be aggressive, taking the body to each other, and sometimes that isn't a bad play to just take the guy out of the play like that, but apparently Brian Lewis thought it was a little too deliberate.
Roughing is the call, 15:51, Sundstrom and Ryle. Here's a drive high over the head of Friesen from the blue line as Thomas Eriksson let it go. Up at the line, Rudgar. Shot it back behind the Swedish goal. Rink-wide pass. Coming down at the line is Eldebrink. Right in front, he lost it. Trying to clear it out. Coming down at the center ice area, here is a shot right on. Lindmark makes the save. Hangs on and will force a face-off as Lindmark thought better of letting it go and hung on.
Well, Peter Lindmark has had a lot of tough saves, but here's a shot. German player just used the Swedish defenseman for a little screen. Lindmark could have been up on his feet there, but fortunate enough, he was able to catch the puck and hang on to the rebound. And it's not a bad play to stop the possession, get the team back on track, and let's start from face-off.
Rainer Bloom was the player coming down the right wing with a good shot and a glove save by Lindmark. Germany keeps it in Swedish territory. There's 1:20 remaining in the penalties. There is 3:25 remaining here in the first period.
Ron, an interesting part when goaltenders talk to forwards about shooting the puck. Sometimes shooting from a bad angle isn't a bad play, and the big defenseman, Mats Thelin, is owned by the Boston Bruins. I know that Harry Simmons is very high on this fella.
Here's a drive that hit a leg in Swedish territory. Fighting for it is Bo Eriksson. Now Sweden on the move to center ice. Stopped at the German line. Over on the right side, Dieter Hagen up at the German line. Turning it. This is Hagen, and a pass was intercepted. Coming down in over the line was Eriksson. Failed to get anywhere with it. Germany recovers again. There's 45 seconds remaining in the penalty. Whistle on the play. We have Sweden leading Germany by a score of 1-0 on Canada Cup.
Style, grace, and that special bond between man and horse is what makes an equestrian event something very unique to watch. TSN is very proud to be bringing you the International Jumping Derby from Newport, Rhode Island. Gold and silver medalists from the Olympics will compete in this prestige event. Treat yourself to something really special, the International Jumping Derby from Newport, Rhode Island.
Intermission, Jim Van Horn will be along with the TSN Sports Desk. I'll be talking with Thomas Steen of Sweden and Roy Rutgar of Germany, and Roger Nielsen will be along with his highlights of this first period. That all comes your way in our first intermission. There's 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining here in the first period, and a shot just went wide. Back to the blue line. Trying to center it. It was intercepted. Comes back out to center. Over on the right side. Knocked forward where it's taken away by Marcus Kuhl. Kuhl drops it back over on the left side to Sharp. Sharp in over the line, trying to get a shot away. That was blocked. Back to the center ice area. Penalties are up. No scoring took place while the teams were a man short. Sweden on the move, right side. Thomas Gradin tried to get a pass, couldn't get to it in time. Turning behind his own goal. Carrying it out to the center ice area now. Trunchka a pass. Down the left side. And it is cleared along the boards. There is 1:33 remaining here in the first period. Back for it was Berndanner. A long shot, easy save by Lindmark. Back into the corner on the right side. Carrying it out now, Thomas Eriksson. Eriksson in over the line, a backhand. Friesen makes the save. Off the boards, Kent Nilsson comes back to center. Nilsson now leads it. Going back behind his own goal is Thomas Steen. We have less than a minute remaining in the first period. Puck bounces up to the center ice area. Over on the left side, carrying it down, in over the line. Håkan Loob lost it. Germany comes back now. Up at the line, this is Steiger. Steiger was stopped at the Swedish blue line. And it is slapped back down to German territory. There's 30 seconds remaining here in the first period. A whistle on the play.
If you watch the Swedish team, they want the German players to chase the puck. They just want to get control, move it into their own end, slowly set it up, and try and get people out of position. And with the German team sort of circling, it allows the Swedes more skating room.
There's Franz Reindl. He has seen limited action in this series. Face-off now is going to take place in Swedish territory to the right of goaltender Peter Lindmark. There's 29 seconds remaining here in the first period. Puck comes back behind the Swedish net. Out to the center ice area. It is knocked down by Hübner. Germans on the move in over the line. A quick shot by Kiesling was just tipped wide by Lindmark. A bouncing puck in front. Poked away by Lindmark. Back again. Here is a shot. Just went wide as Steiger let it go. Germany putting on the pressure as the horn goes to end the first period in Calgary.
Well, Ron, the Swedish team just happened to take it to the Germans that period. Only one goal scored, but Carl Friesen was called on to make a lot of big saves. And at the other end, Peter Lindmark didn't have much work at all. The only chances the German team had were two shots from bad angles.
As you see, the Swedish team leaving, but as Mats Naslund said, they had to score that first goal, and that they did. Sweden leads Germany 1-0 after one period.
Well, come along, baby. Whole lot of twisting going on. Yeah. So come along, baby. Whole lot of twisting going on. Yeah. We missing. Whole lot of twisting going on. I said twist it, baby, twist it. I said twist it.
Camry, a highly evolved front-wheel drive world-class family car. Century's suspension is fine-tuned by computer, its shape refined in the wind tunnel, its performance enhanced by fuel injection. Yet underneath all this technology, Century remains inherently human. Nowhere more evident than in the new Century wagon.
TSN hasn't forgotten kids, and each week on Vic's Vacant Lot, there's a half hour jammed full of fun and games just for kids. Vic Braden hosts and helps youngsters have a good time, teaches them how to get the most out of what you have when the neighborhood gang gets together. Fast-moving and informative, Vic's Vacant Lot on TSN. Welcome back to TSN Control in Toronto. I'm Jim Van Horn. One period of play has been completed at the Saddle Dome in Calgary. The Swedes lead the Germans by a score of 1-0 on a goal by Mats Naslund. We'll talk more hockey a little later on, but first, let's get updated on what's happening in the other world of sports today. Here's Michael Landsberg.
And, Jim, it comes down to this for the Toronto Blue Jays. They must take their 4 remaining games with the Detroit Tigers, or they'll have almost no chance at the American League East title. Jays are home to the Detroit Tigers this afternoon. They're now in the 5th inning, and that game is tied at 2. Let's pick up action early in this game. This is 2nd inning action. Darrell Evans crushes a Luis Leal fastball. That makes it 1-0 for the Tigers. 2nd inning action. Jays get it right back. George Bell's on 3rd. He will score on this Rance Mullenix groundout. That makes it 1-1 after 2. Now let's pick up action in the 4th inning. George Bell laces one to the large crowded left. That's his 22nd home run of the season. That made it 2-1 temporarily for the Blue Jays. However, Detroit has now come back in the 5th, and that game is tied at 2. One other game in the majors this afternoon, one other final score. Texas has defeated, or rather been beaten by Minnesota 5-4. Twins now 1/2 game up in the American League West. It's Pat Cash and Yvonne Lendl on center court at Wimbledon. Men's semifinal action, and they're really going at it. Can these two men play or what? This is first set action. Lendl serving. Both men hit the ball so hard. Watch Cash come to the net. Lendl simply can't get him by him. He tries everything. Cash will take the first set 6-3. But it hasn't stayed that way. Lendl solves Cash's serve and volley game. Watch this magnificent topspin lob. Pat Cash certainly watches it. He thinks it's out, but it drops in. Lendl takes the second set 6-3 and the third 6-4. And it has just been super tennis. They are now in the 5th set. Cash has taken the second, 7-6 in a tiebreaker, rather the 3rd set. So they're in the 4th set right now. It has been a real fine match. In a short while, the women will take center court for their final. It's the usual, Martina Navratilova against Chris Everett-Lloyd. And if the results is the usual, Martina should win it. She has taken their last 12 meetings. Men return to center court tonight for their other semifinal. Should be a good one. Jimmy Connors, 2-time defending champ, will face number 1 seed John McEnroe. Last time those two played at Wimbledon, McEnroe embarrassed Connors. Jimmy's looking for revenge, and it should be a good match. One game in the CFL this evening. Toronto Argonauts are at Edmonton. The Argonauts will have to use something other than the standings to get them up for the game. They are already 8 points up on the Ottawa Roughriders and Montreal Concord, and 9 points up on Hamilton. Edmonton's in a different position. They're in 3rd place in the West, sandwiched between British Columbia and Calgary. They are 4 points back of the BC Lions and 4 up on the Calgary Stampeders. Couple of games in the CFL tomorrow. Hamilton Tiger Cats, looking to get out of last place in the Canadian Football League's Eastern Division, are in BC. And one other game, Calgary is in Saskatchewan. Those two battling to stay out of last place in the Western Division. Jim?
Thank you, Michael. Coming up, an interview from Calgary with Thomas Steen of Team Sweden. We'll be back right after this.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
The PGA Tour makes a stop on TSN, and what a stop it is. The Las Vegas Pro Celebrity Tournament. It's the richest golf event on the tour with over $1.1 million in prize money. Last year's champion Fuzzy Zeller will be back defending his title against some of the very best PGA players. Also on hand, a star-studded who's who of the entertainment world. the Las Vegas Pro Celebrity Golf Tournament, live and exclusive on TSN.
This is TSN, the Sports Network.
Thomas Steen is my guest after one period where Sweden is in front 1-0. Thomas, some comments in that first period. I know that you had the man advantage, but you failed to score on the power play. Are you surprised so far in this first period?
No, not really. We opened up the game pretty good, but we seemed to lose it at the end. And so you said there was a couple of bad power plays.
Has the new coach made a difference for Sweden this season, Thomas? It seems to be a more physical team.
I don't think we're more physical. It's just that we're just playing the game well.
Well, you look a little happy, I know, because all the members of the Swedish team were elated after beating Canada the other night. That had to be a tremendous lift for your hockey team.
Yeah, you can see it in the dressing room.
All right, Thomas, good luck. I know you're tired, want to get back in. Good luck for the second period.
Thank you.
That's Thomas Steen, and right now I'd like to talk to Roy Rudgar. Roy, of course, is with the German team. And Roy, how many years now?
This is my 4th year on the national team.
Hailing from originally?
Port Elgin, Ontario.
Roy, I know that the Germans came in here. You were the underdogs. However, you earned a spot by beating Finland, and I know you all have something to prove. This tournament is far from over. This is a key game today, though, Roy.
Yeah, this is very important for us. Like we want to show the rest of the world that we do belong in this tournament, and like you said, we did beat the Finns. We've got some really tough competition, of course, but if we play defensive and with enough discipline, I believe we can have some good game results here.
Well, I thought Carl played well in that first period. Mats Naslund, he was screened on the shot by Naslund, but I thought Friesen came up with some very good saves for you, but you're going to have to stay away from foolish penalties.
That's for sure. They get a little too much pressure on us when we start playing undisciplined and start playing 4-on-5. Carl has had to play well for us, of course, and because we've got a man in the box so often, we don't get enough offense started. That's the problem. We haven't had enough shots on net.
Bad loss the other night to the Soviets, of course. I thought the first period was very evenly matched, but then in the second period, the Soviets broke it open. You seemed, Roy, to sit back and wait for them to come to you, though. It was very tough to mount an offense.
Yeah, that's the problem. This team that we have right now isn't that experienced, and I think some of the bigger names, especially on the bigger teams like the Russians and the Canadians, we have a little bit too much respect, and we're not working hard enough to be the first guy on the boards, the first guy to the puck, and that's very important. And I think that's what happened. We thought we were lucky to get through the first period without the Russians scoring a goal on us, and then everybody figured it would continue such, and the boys just let up a little bit too much. I think it's a little too much respect on our part.
Roy, nice to have you here. We'll say hello to everyone in Port Elgin. Good luck and continued good luck with Germany.
Thank you very much.
That was Roy Rudgar, and Roy's going back as he awaits the start of the second period. Sweden leads by a score of 1-0. Canada Cup, 84.
We know about the lands you hold, CN, along your railway lines, and watch with awe how you develop them, sharing the opportunity to build towards Canada's financial future, bringing the world of business to us, connecting with the world. And when you bring us in to share your progress, we know who you're in business for.
For nostalgia buffs, we'll be bringing you The Way It Was. The Way It Was is a show that takes you a hop, skip, and jump down memory lane to show you highlights from many of the greatest moments in sports. Memories from hockey, boxing, baseball, and football are just a few of the moments you will relive. The Way It Was on the Sports Network.
Back
in the 60s, while these cars were winning races, Gillette blades were winning faces, and still are. Like today's Aurora, Gillette is in a class by itself. No one has ever developed a better shave than a Gillette twin blade, because the second blade gets the stubble the first leaves behind. No single blade can do that. So think twice. Use Gillette twin blades. And right now, you could win this $50,000 Aurora sports car where you buy Track 2 or Atra. Think twice. Think twin.
And control in Toronto. Jim Van Horn with Roger Nielsen after the first period of play. Mats Naslund with the goal early in the game, giving Sweden an important one-goal lead. They started off quickly, but faded towards the end of the period.
That's right. They really dominated the Germans, and the Germans looked like they were just going to hang right back. They didn't have any forechecking at all, and it looked like it was going to be another 8-1 game. But as so often happens, the Swedes, I guess, eased off a bit, and finally the Germans started to do some forechecking. And the Germans are at their best when they're sending their men into the other zone, taking the body, getting persistent forechecking going. And we're going to show you one clip here where you'll see the Germans doing a good job checking. But the play we want to watch is Eklund, a Swedish player, is being harassed by a German forechecker. And when you're doing that, you have a choice as a player picking up the puck here of passing it to a partner or reversing the play yourself. And we're going to see that Eklund does a great job of reversing the play himself. And then we're going to see the play move up the ice and some great Swedish passing. They move the puck across, they bring it in, it looks like they're going to go in, they really set up the play, and eventually they draw a penalty. So if we can go to the replay now, we'll see that first of all the reverse, which will come down in the corner. Here's Eklund, and he's being harassed by the German. A good reverse play. This is something you've got to work on in practice all the time, both players here. And now he squirms out of it. They've caught 2 Germans. Now they've caught 3 Germans and even 4 here. And the Swedes elect to keep puck control here. I thought they might have gone for a quick break here, but watch Swedish puck control at its best right here. Perhaps we could speed it up now. Look at these pinpoint passes. Try to set up a pick in front of the net, and of course they had a wide open shot here, and it was unfortunate the net went off the hook. But I think the Germans are going to have to get forechecking if they're going to get back into this game.
They had a few opportunities to score, not too many great chances, but one on the power play that was reminiscent of a North American style that we've seen in the past.
Well, the Germans like the Wayne Gretzky behind the net power play, and it was a good example here. They were insisting on setting this play up. And once you have the puck behind the net, the advantage of this situation is that all the defenders, who will all usually come back, are facing, they have to face the puck carrier, so men can do what they want in around behind them. And it's very difficult for the defenders. On the other hand, the disadvantage of this system is that you're making a pass out like this. And it's easy to lose possession. But let's go to the replay and watch the Germans' insistence on setting up this play behind the net. We can speed this up a bit now. Germans working for the puck. Now they've got it. Let's slow it down now. Now the Germans here want this play badly, and they're hoping that the Swedes aren't going to attack them here, and the Swedes oblige by just sitting in the box. Now here comes there's the pass. Now watch the forward who passed it. He's definitely going over, hoping to get open on the other side. Stop the play right there if we would. At this point, number 3, Niederberger, is wide open. And so they could have had a man open here, but they just didn't see it. All right, let's let it go at full speed again. We can speed that up. They're trying for the play again. The same play again. And finally, they lose the puck. And that's why, as a coach, unless you've got a Wayne Gretzky behind the net, I would prefer shooting the puck from the point rather than trying to set it up behind the net. But we saw the Germans get a good chance in their last game, and they love that play.
Okay, Raj, thanks very much. Looking forward to the second period of play, Sweden and Germany. 1-0 Swedes after 20 minutes, and our hockey coverage of the Canada Cup tournament continues after this.
Good work, Williams. Now get me those copies right away.
Where are my copies, Williams?
Does your copier let you down when you need it most? Then you need a Mita copier with dependable operation and fast service from your Mita man.
Williams, I'm waiting.
They told me it was working, but it wasn't working. No, I'm not working.
Mita, full-service copiers.
You're a whole new generation. You're loving what I do. I put a Pepsi in the motion, but that choice is up to you. Hey, you're the Pepsi generation. 'Cause I'm down and taste the thrill of the day. And feel the Pepsi way. You're a whole new generation.
Just like international rules. Games of the North American Soccer League are part of TSN's exciting soccer coverage. We'll follow the Blizzard as they take on Minnesota, New York, and Tampa Bay. TSN's Dale Barnes will be on hand for all the play-by-play, and former Scottish international star Graham Leggett will provide the color. Be sure to join us for exclusive live coverage of NASL featuring the Toronto Blizzard.
After one period, Sweden leads by a score of 1-0. The Swedish goal scored by Mats Naslund at 2:11 of the period. Thelin and Gustafsson assisted, as Sweden outshot Germany in that first period 11-5. In goal for Germany is Carl Friesen. Came up with some big saves in that period. Mats Naslund was the only one to score against him. And for Sweden, in goal is Peter Lindmark. As we get set for the second period, Germany failed to capitalize while they had the man advantage, and Sweden did not score as they had the man advantage.
Ron, I expect the German team to come out and be a little more aggressive this period.
Puck is at the center ice red line. Fighting for it along the boards. Goes back behind, out to center. Carrying it down, in over the line. Comes back to the blue line again. Fired back down. As it is cleared, a bouncing puck comes out. Steering it around, a backhand right on to Lindmark as a quick shot was fired by Marcus Kuhl.
A little bit of a quick whistle there by Brian Lewis. Peter Lindmark held the puck. In the National Hockey League, that puck would have been released and the play would have continued. Sometimes in international play, the rules are a little more lenient towards goaltenders hanging on to the puck.
Face-off will take place in the Swedish zone to the left of Lindmark. Puck goes back as Eldebrink carries it behind his own goal. Trying to get out, it goes to Nilsson, just a little too far. Bouncing back at the line. Nilsson couldn't get back onside.
Well, the German team is standing up a little bit more at their blue line, forcing the Swedes to make the play outside and trying to carry the puck over. And Kent Nilsson got caught there, just trying to do a little bit too much. Helmut Steiger, one of the big players on the German team, was in a fight against the Czechs, was suspended for a game, and in that game he scored 2 goals. And I know the German team is happy to have him back in the lineup.
Outside of the German line. Face-off. Kent Nilsson shot it behind. Carl Friesen bounces into the corner. Lob high to center where it's knocked down by Eldebrink. Eldebrink tried a long pass for Nilsson, couldn't get to it in time. Bloom goes along the boards with Nilsson. Loose puck at the line, outside, and it's an offside call. Sweden leads Germany 1-0 in the second period.
We'll be keeping close tabs on the NFL season as we bring you highlights of the 14 games played each week. In addition, we'll get comments on the big stories as they develop.
hand in hand with NFL Week is NFL Magazine. NFL Magazine takes you inside the huddle, explaining the ABCs of all those X's and O's.
18:47 remaining. Don, as you mentioned, Germany is standing up at the blue line now.
Well, they're certainly taking the offensive zone away from the Swedes.
Puck is to the right of goaltender Friesen. Along the boards. Comes bouncing back to the blue line. Thelin keeps it in. To the left of Friesen. Poked back in over the line again. Mats Naslund tried to center it, failed to do so. Thelin keeps it in German territory. Round the boards on the right side. Knocked off the puck as Hawkinson took his man out of the play. Driven off the boards. Keeping it in again is Thelin. Thelin very effective. Trying to center it. No one was there. And now Eriksson fired a shot. It is stolen by Rudgar. Rudgar got it out to center and could not be controlled as Obressa overskated the puck. Puck shot down behind the Swedish blue line. 17:38 remaining here in the second period. Thomas Eriksson goes over to the right for Mats Naslund. Lobbed forward. Right back down to the German zone. Back for it is Kiesling. Shot down into the Swedish zone. Back for it to the right of Lindmark. In along the boards. Germany now putting the pressure on out in front. It is going to be a penalty. A tripping penalty will be called. And this time, we've got some shoving breaking out just in front of the German bench as Sundstrom was sent flying. But before that, there was a tripping penalty right in front of Peter Lindmark.
Looked like Thelin is going off, but a little reckless in front of the German bench here. Kiesling right in the middle of it. One of the bigger players on the German team.
Also in was Niederberger. This was in front of the Swedish goal. Watch the trip here.
Well, maybe just gets a little bit out of position here. Maybe a good play by Thelin. Maybe it would have been a goal there. The poke check was on by Peter Lindmark, but at the same time, if that puck gets through, maybe a goal. And sometimes a penalty like that is well taken.
Here's the announcement.
Michael Thelin, 2 minutes for tripping. The time 2:52. Thelin for tripping at 2:52.
Only one penalty handed out. It goes to Sweden's Michael Thelin. 2:52 the time of the tripping penalty. You saw it. And now Germany will have the man advantage. They send Gerd Trutschko to take the face-off. Back to the center ice line. All the way back to their own zone. 2 Swedish players up forechecking. And now coming to center ice, a pass on the right side. In over the line, dropping it back was Kiesling, and it comes all the way back to center. Niederberger. Right side to Kuhl. Kuhl drops it back behind his own line. Germany has the man advantage. Out to center. Trutschko failed to get anywhere with him. A very ineffective power play so far, Don.
Leif Bork has the NHL experience out there, and Thomas Gradin and Patrick Sundstrom, and they're really trying to put the pressure on the German defense.
Here's a shot! Oh, good save and a good shot from the point. Back along the boards, another quick shot. That went wide. Kiesling let that one go from the point. 58 seconds remaining in the penalty. It is lobbed high over the glass into the crowd with 16:02 remaining here in the second period.
The people are very surprised on how well the Swedish defense have played, especially since people like Bård Salming, Thomas Jansson, and Stefan Persson for the Swedish team all decided not to join them. And I know that they're very, very pleased with the play of Thelin and Engelbrecht and Thelin. They've all played very, very well for the Swedish team.
Hufner will take the face-off for Germany to the right of goaltender Peter Lindmark. 54 seconds remaining in that penalty. Germany has the man advantage. Draw comes back behind the net. Hufner has it behind Lindmark. Hufner waits. Right out in front. Loose puck. Couldn't get a shot away. Reindl couldn't get in position. Now it is kept in by Peter Scharf. Back behind the goal is Hufner. Hufner tries to get it to Reindl. Back to the point again. A shot went wide. Behind the net. Out in front. And it is recovered by Nilsson. Kent Nilsson over on the right wing. Shot back down to German territory. There is 16 seconds remaining in the penalty. Germany on the move. Out to the center ice area, and losing it was Hufner. With a whistle on the play, Brian Lewis.
Kent Nilsson going off a little bit of a high stick here. Hufner beats him to the outside, and Kent just loses a step on him and gets the stick up and gets up fairly high, and it seems to hit Hufner in the face mask.
Well, if they've had the scoring opportunity ever in this series, it is now, because there's 9 seconds remaining in one penalty. And now Kent Nilsson goes. Here's the announcement.
Nilsson, 2 minutes for high sticking. The time of 4:43. Nilsson for high sticking at 4:43.
Well, Germany at full strength. Face off between the center ice red line and the German blue line. Puck back in the German zone. Back behind Friesen. The penalty is up. One penalty is up now, but Sweden still will be a man short with Nilsson in the penalty box. Icing is called against Germany. It'll come all the way back down to German territory for a face-off with 14:58 remaining here in the second period.
The German power play just hasn't been able to get into the Swedish zone and set up. The strong forechecking by the Swedish forwards just haven't allowed them to get control and move the puck around and a little outside. And I'm sure that the German coach, Unsing, has to be very concerned about this, because he wants that power play. If they're going to be effective, they've got to pay off on their manpower advantages.
Xaver Unsing, the coach for Germany. Face off to the right of Carl Friesen. In the corner now, trying to get out. Remember, Germany has the man advantage for a minute, 32 seconds. Coming to center with the puck at the line. Trunchka right in front, and couldn't get a stick on it as Kuhl knocked it down mid-flight. Puck back behind Lindmark. Stolen and drilled all the way back down to the German zone. Sweden changes on the go.
When you lose that puck when you're on the power play, get after it. Don't let the defensive team get control of it.
Just over a minute remaining in the penalty. Pass right side. Kiesling coming in. Kiesling squeezed along the board. Sweden doing a good job of killing off this penalty. This long shot went right onto the stick of Carl Friesen. Turning in his own zone is Niederberger. Niederberger leaving it for Kiesling. Pass on the right side. No one was there. And it is backhanded out by Eldebrink. All the way back down to the German zone. Meitinger, a pass on the right side. Obressa couldn't handle it. And again it comes back down to German territory with 19 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden leads 1-0 on a first period goal by Mats Näsler. Obressa fired it down behind goaltender Peter Lindmark. Sweden trying to get it out, recovered there. Peter Sundström now slides it back down behind the German blue line. The penalty is up. Germany did not score while they had the man advantage. In over the line. Carrying it is Obressa. Obressa squeezed out of the play along the boards along with Manfred Wolf. Out to center ice to Peter Sundström. Over the line. Carrying it down is Nilsson. Nilsson hits Friesen with it. Puck bounces. Here's a drive. That went wide. From the point, Eriksson let a quick shot go. Here's another shot. That went wide. That's Thelin from the blue line. This is Thelin off the boards for Kent Nilsson. Got it back behind for Thomas Steen. Players fall to the ice. Puck comes back again. A shot. Friesen, a stick save. Handing it. Now it slides back to center. Going back for it is Håkan Loob. Loob, a pass, right side, offside called against Sweden. Sweden leading Germany in the second period by a score of 1-0.
There's a time we all know when everyone does the best. Everything comes together. You leave all the rest. You're number one at what you do. Number one at this spot for you.
Budweiser with the clean, smooth Beechwood aged taste that's made it #1, the world's most popular beer.
In all you do, this Bud's for you.
12 minutes, 22 seconds remaining. Second period from Calgary, Sweden and Germany. Germany again behind their own blue line. Rainer Blum on the right side. Passing to center. Not getting it in over the line. Michael Betts couldn't get a stick on it. Two Swedish players collide. Puck is loose in Swedish territory. Dieter Hagen couldn't get a stick on it. Puck comes to center ice. This is Hagen for Germany. Passing on the right side to Betts. Betts was stopped. Back to center. Rainer Blum tried to shoot it forward. It was knocked down. Recovered at center. Over the line is Betts. He fell. Rainer Blum drives it back behind Peter Lindmark. Comes all the way back to center. It was stolen there by Naslund. Naslund now in over the line. Left it there for Telveen. He could not control it. Recovering again was Hawkinson. Hawkinson leads it back. Here's a shot. Oh, and that went off the arm of Carl Friesen.
Sleek new Canon T70 puts the accuracy of a computer into every shot automatically. The multi-program Canon T70, like Gretzky, it makes the great shots simple.
.11:09, the time remaining in the second period. Sweden in front by 1 goal. And again, Germany has not taken the play to Sweden in the second period, Don. I thought they would.
Well, they just haven't had a real concentrated effort. Seems to be a little lack of communication on the ice.
Puck comes back down to the German zone. Back forward is Franz Reindl. Reindl tried a long pass. No one was there. Thomas Eriksson back behind his own goal. Lost it out in front. A bouncing puck. A shot!
Well, some sloppy play by the Swedish defense, and Lindmark is very, very upset about this goal because he stopped the first pass, and there was just no one there to take anyone out. Here comes the pass out. Peter Lindmark makes good play, gets a stick on the puck, and the Swedish defenseman just skates right by him in a little soft backhander, and Lindmark gets caught back in the net, a little 5-hole open between the legs. Peter Lindmark should have been out on this play a little bit. As you can see, he just opens up the legs, and if he's out on the top of the crease, he stops that puck, but going to his knees, he just doesn't have a good balance.
9:18, the time of the goal by Steiger, unassisted. Now the hockey game tied. Puck is at the Swedish line.
Swedish team just seemed a little lackadaisical here in the second period.
The score is tied. Sweden 1, Germany 1 in the second period.
Now from Yardley, an aftershave for men who go for gold. It's very cool, very fresh, with a masculine fragrance that's very British and typically Yardley. If you want an aftershave that's a winner, think Yardley and go for gold.
This is Ron Hewitt along with Don Edwards of the Calgary Flames, and we are in Calgary bringing you this game between Sweden and Germany, a game that is tied 1-1 with 10:20 remaining in the second period. That's Thelin, leaving it for Pat Sundstrom. Puck in Swedish territory. Comes back to center. Off the boards, it was knocked down by Pat Sundstrom. Loose puck, players fight for it. It was stolen by Marcus Kuhl. A pass, and here's a shot right on. Lindmark makes a good save on Meitinger. Here's a break again, coming right in front. Back behind the net, trying to poke it on the short side. Loose puck, Lindmark is down as players scramble for it along the boards. Peter Sundstrom. Loose puck is poked away by Gruden in front. They score!
Some good forechecking by the German team here, working the puck in behind the net, and the centerman of the Swedish team just doesn't help out. Both defensemen get caught in behind the net. A real mistake, and the big play by Gerten Meitinger coming over from behind the net goes to a hole, and all of a sudden he's got a wide open net. The forechecking, just the German team just being pesky and just no one watching the puck, and if you can't see the puck, take a man, and just can't leave anyone alone open in front like this. Peter Lindmark has no chance on the goal at all.
Federal Republic of Germany goal scored by number 15, Marcus Kuhl. Assisted by number 17, Gerd Punchka. And number 16, Holger Meitinger. The time, 10:26.
10:26, the time of the goal by Marcus Kuhl. Germany leads Sweden by a score of 2-1. Second period, we've got 9:25 remaining.
The key to that goal, Ron, was the pesky forechecking in behind the net by the German players.
Kent Nilsson with the puck. A pass on the left side. Oakenlube taken out of the play, and the puck comes back down to the Swedish zone. Back for touching it was Michael Telvin. Germany leads Sweden in the second period. The score is 2-1.
Keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Faceoff will go to the right of goaltender Carl Friesen in German territory.
Maybe a little bit of a surprise to the Swedish team.
9:10 remaining, second period. Puck is along the boards. Right in front, a quick shot, he scores! What a goal!
Good wrist shot by Thomas Steen, and the work of Kent Nilsson in the corner. Thomas Steen of the Winnipeg Jets, that's his first goal of the series. Left wide open in the slot here, just can't do this. Little quick pass here by Kent Nilsson, but the big play was just a quick snapshot by Thomas Steen, and it's in the top corner, and I don't even think that Carl Friesen ever seen that puck because the defenseman went to his knees and screened the shot.
10:58, the time of the goal by Thomas Steen. What a shot he let go from inside the blue line, high over the shoulder, the right shoulder of Friesen. Germany comes right back. In front, bouncing puck. It's cleared back to center. Score tied 2-2. Kiesling back behind his own goal. Peter Schiller. Rink-wide pass. Hagen in over the line. A shot just wide. Back down to German territory. Germany on the move, out to center. Forward pass knocked down by Eriksson. Fired back down to the German zone. Niederberger back for it, along the board. Slides back behind Carl Friesen around the boards. Still in German territory. Sweden fights for the puck. Coming in to take his man out was Bo Eriksson. loose puck in front, and it's recovered by Hagen. Hagen, rink-wide pass out to center. Michael Betts at the blue line, carried it over, and he was checked. Matt Naslund tried a long pass at center. It is knocked down by Eklund in over the line. Off the boards, fired back in by Eklund again, back behind Carl Friesen. Along the board, no! And a penalty is going to be called as Sandstrom pulled his man down right in front of referee Brian Lewis.
Well, this penalty definitely isn't a necessity.
A 2-2 tie in the second period.
Good work, Williams. Now get me those copies right away.
Where are my copies, Williams?
Does your copier let you down when you need it most? Then you need a Mita copier with dependable operation and fast service from your Mita man.
Williams, I'm waiting.
They told me it was working, but it wasn't working. No, I'm not working.
Mita, full-service copiers.
Thomas Sandstrom off for holding. Just gets a little out of position, goes in, tries to take Kiesling, and certainly cost the Swedish team. Hopefully the Germans will be able to take advantage of this manpower advantage.
I thought it was a pretty good hammerlock myself. I think Sandstrom did a good job there, good wrestling hold, but he did it in front of Brian Lewis.
Stampede Wrestling would have been proud of that one.
2-2 the score. Second period, 7:19 remaining. Germany, the man advantage. Steen in the penalty box, puck comes to center. Shot behind, goaltender Peter Lindmark. Trying to race back for it was Reindl, couldn't get to it in time. As players fight for it in the corner. Puck is shot back down by Thomas Steen.
Ron, there's going to be a penalty here to Helmut Steiger. He pulled down Kent Nielsen. I think more than anything else, he just lost his balance in the corner here, and I think maybe Brian Lewis didn't see all of that one because you know, a little bit of confusion, and the puck was definitely in their feet.
Federal Republic of Germany penalty to number 24, Helmut Steiger, 2 minutes for tripping. The time 13:10.
Well, that evens things up. Steiger in the penalty box now, and we have 1:26 remaining in the other penalty to Thomas Sandstrom. Face off to the right of goaltender Friesen. Here's a shot right on. Saved by Friesen. No further play.
Thomas Eriksson got good wood on that one. Carl Friesen over the top of the crease. Good position. Was able to control the rebound.
Now the face-off moves to the left of Friesen. From the draw, it comes back behind the goal. Coming out to the center ice area was Trunchka. He was stopped. Puck goes forward to Meitinger. Meitinger overskated the puck. Slides back down to the German blue line. Rainer Blum back behind his own goal. Rainer Blum looks to pass. Leaves it over on the right side for Peter Sharp. Sharp's pass went right onto the stick of Naslund. Naslund drops it back, a shot! Oh, and it just went wide. Eldebrink was there. Back to the blue line. Over to Eldebrink, a drive, and that hit a leg. Puck bounces over again. Coming out to the center ice area, Meitinger carrying it up in over the line. He's checked by Eldebrink. Mats Naslund couldn't get the puck back down to German territory. Players fight for it along the boards, and a whistle forcing a face-off in the German zone. There's 14 seconds remaining in the Sandstrom penalty, 48 seconds remaining in the Steiger penalty, and 5:38 remaining in the second period.
Thomas Sandstrom, a new member of the New York Rangers, highly touted by Herb Brooks.
Near the rim of the circle to the right of goaltender Carl Friesen in German territory. Face-off was done incorrectly. They'll do it over again.
Ron, earlier the goal by Thomas Steen certainly showed the importance of a good wrist shot. If you look at all the goals scored in the Canada Cup or in the National Hockey League during the regular season, usually it's the good wrist shots or the real top goal scorers in the league.
Puck is in German territory along the boards. Here's a quick shot, and that was knocked down midair. And it was knocked down with a high stick, forcing yet another face-off. And we've got Roy Rutger and Bo Eriksson doing a little exchanging of pleasantries.
Brian Lewis isn't let either team take the little bit of the aggressive role. He's calling everything, and he's calling the game very, very tight.
5 minutes, 28 seconds remaining. Second period. Face-off. Same circle. Right of Friesen. Players get into position. Kent Nilsson is on. Puck comes back to Nilsson. It drives. Big save by Friesen. Over the glass into the crowd.
Good save by Carl Friesen. Kent Nilsson shooting the puck right off the pass, and that's good concentration. If you can get good wood on the puck when the puck is rolling like this, it seems to speed it up, and sometimes the puck will work like a baseball where it curves and turns, and the only reason is because you're hitting it on the fly.
Friesen made a good save, a quick wrist shot by Kent Nilsson. 34 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Helmut Steiger.
Watch Kent Nilsson on this power play. I'm sure he'll be the quarterback out there and the man that gets control of the puck, and watch the Swedish players start circling and go for the holes.
Puck is not cleared out. It comes to the line. Knocked down from behind by Rutger. The puck goes loose, and a whistle on the play. A cross-checking penalty is going to be assessed, and it will go to Roy Rutger. Rutger gets a cross-check.
Well, when you're one man down, you certainly don't want to take a foolish penalty like this. Now it gives the Swedes a 5-on-3 advantage, and certainly, you know, when you get one down, it's tough enough against a good hockey club like the Swedes, but you certainly don't want to get two men down, Ron.
To number 22, Roy Rutger, 2 minutes for cross-checking. The time, 14:45. Rutger for cross-checking at 14:45.
From Port Elgin, Ontario, playing with the German team, 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. This is the second period. Germany, 2 men in the penalty box. Now the puck is loose at center. Over on the left side, down, in, over the line comes Lube. A shot from behind the net. Clearing it out in front. A drive. Eldebrink hit the post. Another shot by Nilsson went wide. Back to the point. Eldebrink feeding it in. Shot. Bouncing puck went wide. Hoken Lube back behind the net. In the corner. Out in front again, and that went wide. Eldebrink back to the right of Friesen. Eldebrink trying to tie his man up. A bouncing puck goes loose, but it's not cleared out now. It comes out over the line.
Certainly some big saves there by Carl Friesen.
This is Eriksson carrying it over the line. Only one man short now. A minute remaining in the Rutger penalty. Sweden, the man advantage. Eldebrink. Eldebrink was stopped. Left it for Telveen. At the line, over the line, coming in is Nilsson. Back behind the net, dropping it back, a quick shot. That went off the skate. Back to the point. It goes to Anderson. Anderson for Nilsson. Nilsson waits, back to Anderson. Anderson a drive, and that went wide. Back to Anderson again. Anderson for Kent Nilsson. Passing over to the side, a shot, Friesen the save. A quick shot by Telveen. And now it is lobbed high all the way back down to the Swedish zone.
The Swedes on that power play are trying to play 2-on-1 hockey. Get the German forward who's covering defenseman come out and take the man at the top, and then just feeding it over to the man on the side, and then being able to walk into the shot. And Carl Friesen, if it wasn't for him, the Swedes could have had a couple goals.
Only 12 seconds remaining now on the penalty to Germany's Roy Rutger. 3 minutes 27 remaining here in the second period of this game. It's a 2-all tie. There's Patrick Sundstrom.
Patrick's maybe one of the fastest players in the National Hockey League.
Sweden has the man advantage for 12 more seconds. Carrying it up in over the line. Gustafsson, a shot that was well wide of the mark. Puck is loose near the center ice red line. Carrying it back was Thomas Gradin. Up over the line. Here's Gradin, a shot. Friesen a save. Off the glass, but not out. Friesen another stick save on Gradin. Here is a quick shot, and that was knocked out. Playing the point was Peter Anderson. Germany now on the move. Teams are at full strength. Shot right on. Lindmark makes the save, decides to cover up on the play with 2:47 remaining. Sweden 2, Germany 2, second period.
Feel free in the wind. Smile, smile with the day. The taste comes shining through. So keep on smiling. 'Cause when you're smiling, blue smiles along with you.
Coming up in our second intermission, Jim Van Horn will be along with the sports desk. Bruce Hood, his observations on the second period. Then Roger Nielsen will follow with his highlights of the second period with the score tied 2-2 and 2:47 remaining. It all comes your way in our second intermission. Puck is in Swedish territory. Teams are at full strength. Puck is fired right back down to the right of goaltender Carl Friesen, and Sweden is going to be called for icing the puck.
Well, these two teams just sort of exchange opportunities for the first 10 minutes. The German team come after Team Sweden, and then all of a sudden they've sat back and sort of been happy with the 2-2 tie or the 2-1 lead, and then the Swedes come back and hop on the German team, and both teams have a definite chance of making it into the playoff round.
Puck is back at the blue line. Here is a shot. Good shot by Berndanner. Good save by Lindmark from the blue line. Turning a center. Puck is kicked over the line. Here's puck, and here's a call by Ryan Lewis. The puck was knocked forward of the high stick. 2 minutes, 12 seconds now remaining. And there's Marcus Kuhl.
Ron, if there's one thing that North American hockey players can learn from Europeans is how they use their feet. They catch so many passes in their feet, and this is done through playing soccer. They do quite a bit of dry land training with a soccer ball.
Marcus Kuhl has scored a goal here in the second period. Puck is shot down to the Swedish zone. Lindmark leaving it. Over on the right wing for Thomas Steen. And it came out over the line, so an offside is called.
The teams are just a little hesitant on taking the offensive. Sometimes when you get in a tight situation like this, you start trying to look after your own end and playing a little tighter defense.
2 minutes remain, second period. Thomas Steen. Steen has also scored here in the second period of this game. Making a shot, then carrying it in over the line. And a whistle on the play. Of course, this opening goal, this next goal is going to be key, Don.
It certainly is. At the end of the second period, I'm sure that both teams will be happy going to the 2-2 tie.
Ken Nilsson racing down the center. Going back into the corner for it was Håkan Lube. Right in front, Lube, a shot high over the head of Carl Friesen. Back to the point. Thomas Eriksson. And a whistle on the play as it was lost in the glove of Håkan Lube.
Hawkins, one of the most popular players here in Calgary. Immediately, as soon as he came over from the Swedish team, the fans here in Calgary took a real liking to him.
Sweden has outshot Germany 23-13. Kent Nilsson at center ice. All the way back behind his own blue line. A minute, 25 seconds remain. Kent Nilsson with the puck at center ice. Waits, a pass, Eldebrink down, in over the line. Eldebrink carrying it in the corner, trying to center it, and he's stopped by Manfred Wolf. Manfred Wolf fighting for it along the boards. Obressa in there for Germany. Here it comes back. Out in front. Carl Friesen. Another great save. A scramble. The puck went loose. Point blank range. Here's Nilsson trying to get a shot away. And the net has moved.
Those magnetic nets, I think the referees are still getting used to them. The Swedish bench is complaining. They didn't think it was off. And the forechecking by Thomas Steen and Håkan Loob. Håkan right in front, knocks it down with his glove. Big save by Carl Friesen, and then the defenseman come in and clear him out. But just a little fortunate, the puck didn't go in there. Just the defense of the German team just got napping a little bit. You just can't allow anyone to be left alone.
49 seconds, the time remaining. We're in the second period with the score tied 2-2 and a face-off in German territory. Kiesling. A pass up to his own blue line. Coming down, in over the line. A perfect pass in front. A backhand went wide. Steiger let that one go. In the Swedish zone, a bouncing puck. Coming out to the center ice area, a forward pass for Sundstrom. Back into the corner as they try to center it, squeezed along the boards. Peter Sundstrom fighting for it. It goes to Pat Sundstrom, back to the point, and a shot, that was knocked down. Drilled all the way back down to German territory with only 4 seconds remaining. Carrying it down, in over the line, with Hooser a shot, then marked a save as the horn went to end the second period. Don?
Well, Ron, both teams that period seem to get a little conservative. Maybe the importance of this game is starting to show with both teams having a chance to get into the playoff round. One of these teams got to come out, go on the offensive, and hopefully be able to put it away, because if they don't, one of these teams are going to be out of the tournament, and the importance of the game, they'll be heading back to their home country.
Well, Steiger and Kuhl scored for Germany. Thomas Steen for Sweden. After 2 periods, this score is tied. Sweden 2, Germany 2.
Tony Tanti, Jim Baplinski, Kevin Lowe, Rick Vine, Norm Rochefort, Dale Howardchuk, E. Carbonneau. 7 pros racing against the clock. Who'll be the winner? If you select him, you could win one of 7 Chrysler Lasers in Gillette's Super Skater Contest. So enter where you see this Gillette display and act fast.
Skyhawk, the small car that's a Buick. Consider its virtues. The comforting fact that electronic scanning assures precision. The satisfying fact that Skyhawk displays generous Buick luxury. The provocative fact that front-wheel drive Skyhawk handles as beautifully as its looks impress. Or consider the one, possibly decisive fact that you can have it all in one car.
From skiing to tennis, let the pros show you how they do it on TSN's Tips. Having trouble getting your game going, or maybe you just need a pointer or two to sharpen up your style? That's what Tips is all about. Join us for the next edition here on TSN. Welcome back to TSN Control in Toronto. Jim Van Horn. After 2 periods of play, the Swedes and the Germans are deadlocked at 2 goals each. And with an update on the rest of the sports happening this afternoon, Michael Landsberg.
It is a fabulous day for sports. Pennants are won and lost in the late innings, and it appears as though the Tigers
will win it, and the Jays will lose it because of what they've done late in their games. Jays, 9.5 games back of the Tigers, are hosting Detroit. Toronto clearly must win to stay alive. They are now in the 8th inning, and Detroit is leading it by a score of 4-2. Let's pick up action now. Game was tied at 1 in the 4th. George Bella's 24th home run of the season. That made it 2-1 for Toronto. But how often have we seen leads collapse? This is Johnny Grubb in the 5th inning. He hits a home run, and that was a foreshadower of things to come. Grubb will again hit a home run. That will put the Tigers up by a score of 3-2. They have added one more. That makes it 4-2, and again, they are in the 8th inning. One other score, Minnesota has defeated Texas by a score of 5-4 in the American League. Cash versus Lendl, 84 U.S. Open semis. It'll be remembered as a classic. Pat Cash and Yvonne Lendl are playing right now at the semifinals in the U.S. Open. They are putting on a great show. In fact, they are in the 5th set, and Lendl and Cash are in a tiebreaker. It is tied at 2. Cash took the first set. Lendl came back to 1. This is 3rd set action. It was tied at 1. Cash will lose this point. Lendl taking it. That was, in fact, the winning point of that set. Now Pat Cash will come back in the 4th set. This is tiebreaker action. Lendl puts it way out, and Cash wins that set. Again, they're in the 5th right now. And Pat Cash and Yvonne Lendl tied at 2. Coming up next on center court at Flushing Meadow in New York, the ladies will hold their final. As usual, it's Martina Navratilova versus Chris Everett-Lloyd. Is it ever anything else in the major tourneys? Unfortunately for Chris, the results of their matches have also been predictable. Martina has won the past 12, most of them convincingly. Men get back to center court tonight for their other semi. This should be entertaining. It's Jimmy Connors versus John McEnroe. McEnroe's the #1 seed, but Connors has won the past 2 Opens, but McEnroe destroyed him at Wimbledon. Lots to consider there. There's one game in the Canadian Football League this evening. Toronto Argonauts are at Edmonton to face the Eskimos. Argonauts, even a pessimistic Argo fan would have to admit, are just about assured of first place. They're 8 points back of Montreal and Ottawa. Eskimos are one of the league's few mediocre teams. They're 5-4 and are sandwiched 4 back of the Lions and 4 ahead of the Stamps. But linebacker Dan Kepley says emphatically they're not settling for 3rd place.
Nobody's clinched 1st or 2nd place right yet, so if we can come up with 7 games left in the season, a lot of strange things happen in the CFL. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day.
2 games in the CFL tomorrow. Hamilton's in BC while Calgary's in Saskatchewan. And an update on that Lendl Pat Cash Max. They are tied at 6 in the tiebreaker, 5th set. Whoever wins the tiebreaker wins it. Great match, Jim.
It certainly is, Michael. Thank you very much. Coming up, Bruce Hood of the National Hockey League, formerly of the National Hockey League, who has now turned expert broadcaster. And we'll come back with Bruce Hood right after this.
We know what, we know how. We know we're born and we're born it now. So only the best will do. And the best is that Pepsi taste that keeps coming through. Come on, Pepsi now. You want the best taste. Come on and taste that best taste. Come on and make yours Pepsi now. Yeah.
Capture the atmosphere and excitement of being out catching the big ones on TSN's Fishing Hole. Friendly tips and information on how to get the most out of your fishing is all part of this outdoor show.
Going on down to the fishing hole, gonna take my bait, gonna take my pole, catch 'em on the left, catch 'em on the right, bring 'em on home when the day turns night.
Watch TSN's Fishing Hole and you may land the big one that always seems to get away.
Welcome back to TSN Control. Jim Van Horn with Bruce Hood, former NHL referee. And after 2 periods of play, we are tied at 2, Germany and Sweden. In the 2nd period, Helmut Steiger, Marcus Kuhl, and Thomas Steen scoring for the Swedes at 10:58. I really thought that the Germans surprised the Swedes in that 2nd period, taking the play to them and almost catching them napping as if they were disinterested.
That's right. The period started out really dull and nothing was happening. And all of a sudden, the Germans get so strong. And I don't know whether the Swedes are going to wake up and come back and play like they did against Team Canada the other night or not.
Is it a matter of Sweden maybe thinking, well, we'll just show up for the 3rd period and we'll take care of them then, and in the meantime they can do what they want?
I don't think so. I think, you know, they've got to play tough all the way through. It's just like any game. If they lose that momentum, it's tough to get back. And you saw Germany, they got stronger. They got a little more confidence because I think in the beginning they thought, well, we probably aren't going to win anyway. But I'd like to point out in the game a lot of penalties. You know, there are good penalties, there are bad penalties, and there are dumb penalties. And then in this game, I think maybe we've had 2 good penalties. And I talk about good penalties by the player to take away a scoring opportunity. And there's a lot of bad penalties and dumb. Now, the cross-checking penalties have to be called. The high-sticking penalties have to be called. I think Brian started out in the game maybe thinking about the situation that took place with the Team Germany and the Czechoslovakians the other night, that they were playing it pretty chippy, and maybe he was going to set a rather firm standard and was calling some borderline penalties. And once you start doing that, where do you stop doing that? So we're getting a lot of stoppages for maybe I'll use the term unnecessary penalties, but that's the standard he set. It's going to be interesting to see in the third period, with the score tied, what type of penalties first the players are going to take, and then what he is going to have to call.
When you get into a situation like that, do you call them right off the bat, and do the players come to you and say, what's going on? You say, listen, I'm going to call everything until you guys know that you're not going to get away with it, and then do you start to slack off a little bit, or?
Not really. We usually, you drop that puck and you wait and see how they're going to play the game, and if they're going to play it, okay. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of trips and hooks that take place that are away from the play, and if it's more or less accidental, and there isn't retaliation, that's the key. If you're getting retaliation, you've got to call them. If you're not getting retaliation, you can let it go. That's one thing in the favor of the European officials. They'll let a lot of stuff go away from the puck carrier, and but they let the retaliations go too. But it makes for not a bad hockey game in that respect, whereas we in the National League, most of the officials call it, and if the game isn't exciting, it makes it less exciting.
Yesterday we were talking about the politics involved in selecting the referees and the linesmen for certain hockey games. You brought out a point earlier that Mike North was supposed to be the referee for this hockey game between Sweden and Germany. All of a sudden the game starts and it's Brian Lewis.
Right. Actually, would you believe there have been 3 different sets of assignments since the series started, and we're now, this is I think the 10th game in the series, and the changes have been unbelievable. So it's going to be interesting to see who works the next 2 games that are taking place today.
Do you are you expecting changes like that, though? Do you go into a tournament like this saying, well, we'll schedule this individual here and we'll put him there, and knowing that chances are those individuals will not be refereeing those games?
That's for sure. As I was pointing out earlier, the fact is that there were 3 referees standing. There's 3 games today, and there's 3 referees standing there waiting to say which city they're going to go to.
Bruce, thanks very much. Thank you. Talk to you a little bit later. Coming up next, third period action from the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Sweden and Germany after this.
We know you, CN. Know how you're changing. Building us a double track to give uninterrupted thunder as 6,000 horsepower, all 10,000 tons. Our products to our markets around the world. You're showing us your pioneering ways again, CN. You're doubling your effort, demonstrating a commitment to us. The heaviest since in frontier days, rail pushed out to the westward. A big investment for you. But because you run a tight, efficient business, well, what profits you will profit us. Oh yes, CN, we know you're in business for.
The true excitement and spirit of our national game. TSN is proud to be exclusively carrying 9 1984 Canada Cup matches featuring the United States, Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, Sweden, and West Germany. It's end-to-end excitement, and TSN will put you right into the heart of the action with our great coverage of this 1984 series. Welcome back to TSN Control. Jim Van Horn with Roger Nielsen in Toronto. We have completed 2 periods of play. Just when you'd think that the Swedes have everything under control, boom, 2 quick goals by the Germans, and they make it into a hockey game.
Well, the Germans are at their best when they're forechecking, and the purpose of effective forechecking is to hurry the other team into making mistakes. And usually it's a giveaway, and then you sometimes can get the team out of position. And the Germans, just for one stretch there in the second period, really had the Swedes going. And the first one we want to see was a great check by Hoffner, but it was not a good play by Isaacson. Now, we talked last period about Eklund's good reverse play, but this, you can only do a reverse yourself when you're moving. And as you remember, he was moving down and was able to lose the forechecker. But here, Isaacson was standing still, and Hoffner just came in and stripped him right of the puck when he tried to do a reverse. Steiger reacted very quickly and got right in front, and we had a goal. And we can go to the replay here. We'll see this good forecheck by the German number 9, Hoffner. And here's Isaacson going back to get it. He decides to set up behind the net. And, I don't think you should ever set up behind the net unless you have to, but he decided that's what he wanted to do. Here's Hoffner. Now, you can't beat a good checker standing still behind the net, and Hoffner is a good checker. He got right out in front. And here's another error by the Swedes. Eldebrink misses the check. He tries a stick check instead of taking the man, and Steiger was able to put the puck in the net.
That almost appeared like a bit of a soft goal as well, because he really didn't shoot it all that hard off the backhand, and it beat Lindmark through the hole in his legs.
I don't think he got all of it, and I think it was kind of a change of pace goal, and I think it was perhaps a weak goal.
In the first period, the Germans were trying the forechecking, and it wasn't working. You had that on the highlights that you showed of the first period, but the second period, again, it worked the second time around.
That's right, and if we could just go back to the board, this time they broke down the Swedish positional play in their own end. And Peter Sundström, one of the forwards, was in working with his defense partner. And they were set up in this manner. And Patrick Sundström, the center, he was right in here where he should be, because he's got to be ready to cover the point. And what happened was Peter Sundström lost his man. And when Sundström lost his man, the man in front of the net, which I believe was Theldman, decided that he should come and help. And he should have just stayed and waited right there, because it was just an easy one-handed pass out that resulted in the goal. And if we can go and look at that on the replay again. The Germans doing a good job when they swarm in. And here there was actually 4 of them coming in, but they were able to keep the puck in. And the Swedes here are scrambling a little. They go down. They're in a little bit of trouble. Germans now have a bit of control behind the net. Let's speed this one up a bit. We seem to be lagging a little here. Now slow it down. Now the Germans now decide to put 2 men in. The third man wisely backs off a bit so they won't get caught. Here's Sundström loses his man. Here's the one-hand pass out. And of course, Peter Sundström wasn't able to react quickly enough, but it was strictly a hard work goal, and the Germans got themselves back in the game, and if they can get that kind of pressure up, they've got a chance in this game.
2-2 tie after 2 periods. Going to be interesting to see what happens in the third, and we'll see it right after this.
Here's something new, so you'd better look twice. Yes, it's Labatt's Light, and don't it look nice? You see, the bottle's brand new, with a twist off cap too. Still tastes light and so smooth, and it's looking so new. Yes, it's Labatt's Light.
I see by your resume you're applying for the job as our office copier. Gentlemen, meet the meter 312, RE copier.
You don't mind if we just see what you can do? He's fast, 30 copies a minute.
He reduces, enlarges copies on 2 sides.
There's a feeder.
Sorter. And a self-diagnostic control system.
He's got everything we need, but I bet he'll cost us. Is that all?
It's been a tough season in the American League, with the Blue Jays chasing those runaway Tigers. TSN will cover the Blue Jays through the end of the season with exclusive coverage of 4 games featuring Minnesota, New York, Detroit, and Milwaukee. Join Fergie Alver and Bobby Maddock as we head down the home stretch. From coast to coast, Canadians are behind the Blue Jays, and TSN will put you right into the action with our exclusive coverage.
Steiger and Kuhl scored in the second period, and Thomas Steen scored for Sweden, and after 2 periods, the score is tied 2-2. Total of 10 penalties have been handed out in this hockey game, 5 apiece. Score is tied 2-2 as we await the start of the third period. And now, I don't know what's going to happen, Don. I don't know whether both teams are going to go into a shell, hoping maybe to hang on for the tie, or whether we're going to see one team break out.
Well, Germany definitely has to win this game. It's going to be a key to them. They're a point behind the Swedish team in the standings, and I'm sure that the Unsen, the German coaches, went in and told them to go out and be aggressive and take the play to the Swedes. At the same time, the Swedes can't sit back. They've got to score some goals. They'd like to move up in the standings because it's going to be very, very important to them, just as a confidence builder more than anything else.
Sweden has outshot Germany 24-14, and there's the coach of Germany, Xaver Unsen. Third period is now underway. Pass to the right side. Up and over the line. That is knocked back to the center ice red line. Right in front of Carl Friesen. And a hooking penalty is going to hand it out by Brian Lewis at this early stage of the third period.
Trunchka off, pulls down Thomas Gradin. A little bit of a hook, maybe a good play. Thomas would have had a breakaway. Sometimes a penalty like that is well taken.
But unfortunately for Germany, Sweden now will have the man advantage. There's Gud Trunchka.
To number 17 here, Trunchka, 2 minutes for hooking. The time.
He's one player the Germans are really counting on. He seems to really have a soft touch around the offensive net.
Playing for Germany, born in Czechoslovakia. Face-off to the right of Friesen. Getting set for the draw. Back to the point. Watch the power play now. Sweden has the man advantage. Back to Eldebrink. Back into the corner. Back to Eldebrink again. Pass. Failing to hang on to it was Thomas Eriksson. Back to Eldebrink. He goes into the corner. Standing right in front is Thomas Steen. Circling. Here's a shot. Oh, just went wide. Puck bounces all the way back down to Swedish territory. There's a minute. 24 seconds remaining in the penalty. Kent Nielsen passing right side in over the line to Thomas Steen. Steen to Nielsen. Nielsen back behind Carl Friesen. Centered out in front, and failing to get a shot away was Eriksson. Back to the point. Over to Eriksson again. Eriksson for Kent Nielsen. Sweden has the man advantage for 58 seconds. A scramble in front, loose puck, and Nielsen recovers. Nielsen back to Eriksson to Nielsen. Looks to try and shoot. Leaves it back and almost cleared out, but not. Here's Nielsen and scores! A power play goal!
Ron, little poor clearing by the German team, and Kent Nielsen keeping the puck in, and Hakanlu being jolly on the spot, knocked down here by Kent Nielsen. A little quick pass to Hakanlu off the side of the net, and doesn't have a chance, Carl Friesen.
A power play goal. Watch Hakanlu standing right beside Friesen.
Well, the German defense was napping a bit.
Assisted by number 14, Kent Nielsen. And number 27, Thomas Eriksson. A power play goal.
Power play goal by Hakanlu, moving Sweden in front by 1 goal, 3-2.
That's Loop's first goal of the tournament.
Power play goal at 1:35.
Off the boards, out to center. Knocked down along the boards. Coming up with the puck again, Obressa. Sweden recovers. Out to center. Shot down in over the line. Coming down was Mats Naslund. Puck is back behind Friesen, fighting for it along the boards. Eklund has it. Eklund in front. A shot saved by Friesen. Sweden putting the pressure on. Not cleared out. Here is a drive. That went wide. Bo Eriksson let it go from the blue line. Back to center, Gustafsson. Gustafsson for Sweden. At center ice now, Hagen leaves it for Schiller. Schiller squeezed out of the play. Taken by Eklund for Sweden. Right side for Mats Naslund. Naslund sent flying. Puck comes back out to center. And a whistle on the play. And so in the third period, Sweden leads Germany 3-2.
Soccer has a very special place on the TSN lineup. One of our regular weekly features will be All-Star Soccer. Each week's broadcast pits the best of the English League in top-class game action. Watch the match of the week exclusively on TSN's All-Star Soccer.
.06 remaining, third period. Sweden ahead by 1, 3-2 the score. Ron Hewitt along with Don Edwards of the Calgary Flames. Puck comes back to the center ice red line. Celine was knocked down. Bouncing puck is recovered. Shot in over the line by Peter Anderson. Back behind Friesen off the boards. Kept in by Anderson, out in front. Friesen down, covers up on the play.
Ron, maybe not at all the game that anyone expected in the exhibition game between these two teams. Sweden beat them 8-0 in London. And what may be considered the Fog Bowl, they decided halfway through the second period to go to straight time. And I know that both teams maybe throughout that game never got a chance to feel each other out just because of the fog.
16 minutes, 44 seconds remaining, third period. A face-off is going to take place in German territory. Well, all the statistics for the entire Canada Cup Series for 1984 being supplied by the Hewlett-Packard Company. Accurate, up-to-date statistics on all the goals, the goal scoring, and of course the standings, which are so important for all these teams, plus the individual scoring statistics.
Maybe some real surprises in the scoring.
Could be so far. Over on the left side and over the line, dropping back, a pass, carrying it in front is Nilsson, out in front. No one is there. Germany on the move, coming down, up in over the line. Meitinger, a shot saved by Lindmark. Fired back down to the German zone. Carl Friesen off the boards. A race for it, loose puck out in front. Missing it was Kiesling. Going over now is Niederberger. Niederberger in front of the penalty box, and it's held to force a face-off. Sweden leads Germany 3-2 in the third period.
Whispers freedom. Friends come together, ride the clear sky. Magic sailing into good times, waiting on the ground, and the taste keeps coming through. Love that's blue smiles along with you.
Sweden 3, Germany 2, and there is 15:57 remaining.
Somehow, Ron, the Germans got to find more offense. Since those two goals, they haven't had much pressure on the Swedish defense or the goaltender.
Ernst Hübner trying to get out. Over on the right side, now it's shot back behind goaltender Carl Friesen. Be difficulty getting out of their own zone. Shot out to center ice. And turning now is Steiger. Steiger, a forward pass, knocked down to the Swedish blue line. And recovering, coming down, in over the line, right in front, a backhand, Friesen, the score! Friesen was down.
Well, Mats
covered up.
Well, Mats Naslund makes the play here with Bent Oak Gustafsson just break in, sort of a 2-on-1, sort of a little bit of a screen and sort of a decoy. Defenseman gets caught, and I think the defenseman knocks his puck in. Carl Friesen makes a save and just seems to knock it in when he sort of knocks Friesen. with a good speed by Ben Hope Gustafson the outside with Mats Naslund going to the net. And Gustafson has his second goal of the tournament.
So now it is 4-2, Sweden over Germany. Sweden again on the move. This is Peter Anderson. Shot it behind, right in front. Coming in was Peter Sundstrom. Couldn't get a stick on it. Over on the right side. Shot out by Berndanner in over the line. Down to the right of Lindmark. Puck goes into the corner. Trying to get it out in front. Failing to do so. The puck comes back where it is stolen by Pat Sundstrom. Out to the center ice area. He in turn was checked. Germany trying to work their way out. It comes back down to Swedish territory. Lindmark waits. Drives it back behind his own goal. Back around to the blue line. A shot, oh, right in front. And they couldn't capitalize on the open side of the net. Taken out of the play was Thomas Gradin. Germany down now by 2 goals with 14-12 remaining in the third period. Coming right in front, a shot. Lindmark makes the save on a good drive by Dieter Hagen on the left side.
Dieter Hagen showing good puck handling ability with a little bit of speed here. Moves in with a good shot, and Peter Lindmark called on to make a big save and controls the rebound. Maybe Brian Lewis did call the whistle a little bit too fast, but when a referee loses sight of the puck, that's his job.
14:08 remaining. We're in the third period of this game. Face-off about to take place to the left of Peter Lindmark. Ken Nilsson on the ice for Sweden.
Watch for, as the third period moves on, watch for the Swedish forwards to start hanging around their own blue line.
Puck comes up over on the left side. Håkan Loob. Loob carries it up to the German line. Loob has it, fires it back behind goaltender Friesen. Kent Nielsen has it. Håkan Loob again recovering. Back behind the net. Nielsen for Håkan Loob. Out in front, here is a tripping penalty. And Sweden is going to get a penalty for tripping.
Looked like Thomas Steen here. Penalty called here on Thomas Steen. He just takes a little bit of a slap there, maybe a little costly for the Swedish team, and maybe a penalty not really needed. Maybe just a little bit of temperament.
Number 21, Thomas Steen, 2 minutes for tripping,
6:12, the time of the tripping penalty by Thomas Steen right in front of goaltender Carl Friesen with 13:47 remaining. Coming down into the line, a shot, Friesen the save on a point-blank drive right in front of the goal by Mats Naslund. Germany with the man advantage, coming out. Out to center ice, turning. Kiesling in over the line. He's stopped from behind. It's backhanded down the ice.
Mats Naslund showing his muscle out there, maybe one of the smallest players in this tournament, but definitely effective.
Niederberger back behind his own goal. Germany has the man advantage for 1 minute and 25 seconds more. Niederberger. His pass went astray, and it was shot right back down to the stick of Carl Friesen. Over on the right side. A race for it. Coming in was Pat Sundstrom. Back it goes for Niederberger. Niederberger in over the line. A pass in front. Oh, and a good save by Lindmark. Tried to stick it up high into the corner. Meitinger was right there with a good shot, and now we've got more penalties being handed out. We'll wait for the official call on this as Brian Lewis goes to the penalty box. Getting the gate is Gerd Trunschka. Trunschka goes to the penalty box.
Looks like Naslund is the Swedish player. Just a little out of our eyesight. Maybe a little bit behind the play.
Mats Naslund and Trunschka getting the gate by referee Brian Lewis. "12 minutes, 42 seconds remaining here in the third period. High-sticking and roughing the penalty call. Ernst Hupner now takes it behind Lindmark in the corner along the boards. It comes back to Bloom. Rainer Bloom, a shot that went wide. Bouncing back again, back to Bloom. Bloom inside the blue line. Passes. Back to Bloom. Bloom winds up a shot right in front. Lindmark down, and no further play.
Well, maybe one of the few opportunities since the Germans have had a manpower advantage for a scoring opportunity.
In the third period, Sweden leads Germany 4-2.
A reminder of the second.
Was Gillette foamy thick enough and rich enough to restrain a rushing roller coaster? No. So we improved foamy, made it even thicker and richer. Now is improved foamy thick enough and rich enough?
No. But if you thought your foamy gave you clean clothes shaves, just wait till you see how much thicker and richer foamy is now.
Gillette foamy shave cream. We made it even thicker and richer.
Sweden leading Germany by 2 goals, 4-2. Third period, 12:03 remaining. Face-off, Swedish territory, to the right of Peter Lindmark. Set for the draw. Back it comes to Peter Sharp. A shot. Lindmark down. Makes the save. Coming out is Kent Nielsen. Nielsen, right side. Up to the blue line. Coming right in front. Dropping it back. Oh, it was stolen by Ernst Hupner. Puck comes down to the right of Lindmark. Going into the corner. Elderbrink took his man out of the play. Puck is taken in front by Pat Sundstrom. Pat Sundstrom over on the left side. He drops it back. This is Nielsen turning at center ice. Kent Nielsen up to center.
If you wanted somebody during a man shortage to carry the puck, it'd definitely be Kent Nielsen. They don't call him the magic man for nothing.
Here's Nielsen right in front. Loose puck. Brees it down to cover up on the play.
In the past 2 years, over 170,000 kids have been awarded Esso Medals of Achievement. These minor hockey awards are just one of the many community programs that Esso supports across Canada. Because to Esso, it's a good, healthy way for youngsters to grow up and develop. And tonight, Esso is also pleased to provide the Player of the Game Award.
There's 11:07 remaining in the third period of this game between Sweden and Germany. Sweden in front by 2 goals. Face off to the left of goaltender Carl Friesen. Puck is dropped. It comes to Joachim Ryle. Ryle is back behind his own goal. Trying to get out. Stop. Ryle recovers again. Manfred Wolf carries it up to center ice. Wolf at the line, coming in over the line. He is spun around, but not pulled down. Goes into the corner along the boards. And Sweden comes back. Eklund up in over the line. Eklund drops it back, and it's stolen there by Wolf. Here's a one-on-one. Wolf a shot, and that was blocked. Puck comes back behind Lindmark. Over to Gustafsson. Gustafsson tried it for Naslund, but he was spun around. Here's a pass out to center. Loose puck. Taken down in over the line by Pat Sundstrom. Trying to center it for Naslund. Wouldn't do it. Right back to center. At the line, coming down in over the line. A shot. Lindmark makes the save. Here is a break. Pat Sundstrom coming in on Kiesling, pulled down from behind. There's going to be a penalty.
The penalty well taken, Ron. Patrick Sundstrom definitely would have had a breakaway. Carl Friesen is a little fortunate. The good speed of Patrick Sundstrom. A little bit of a hold here. Goes down. Sometimes in National Hockey, League, it might even be considered a penalty shot because he definitely did have a stride on the German defenseman.
Niederberger will get the gate. Look at this. He nearly tipped it in as he was pulled to the ice, too.
Well, Carl Friesen just loses a little bit of balance there. He was really quite fortunate that the Swedish player following up on the play didn't poke that in.
Niederberger goes for hooking. Here's the announcement.
Andreas Niederberger, 2 minutes for hooking. The time 10:17. Niederberger.
10:17. Niederberger gets the gate, and now Sweden will have the man advantage. To take the face-off, Thomas Steen moves into place. Puck is cleared down to the Swedish zone. Michael Betts is up for it. It is left behind Peter Lindmark. Over on the left side, out to the center ice area. Kent Nielsen goes racing down to the right of Friesen. There's 9 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third period. And the puck came out over the blue line. So we'll have a face-off. 1:35 in the penalty to Niederberger.
Ron, sometimes when a team gets down by 2, they're still in the game. But if the Swedish team could score here, it may be a big blow to the German effort.
Play is underway at the blue line as Eldebrink carries it all the way up to the German line. Eldebrink dumps it into the corner to the right of Carl Friesen along the boards. Håkan Loob gets it back to the blue line. This is Kent Nielsen. Nielsen back for Thomas Eriksson. Here's Eriksson, a shot. That was just wide. Loose puck, and it is shot right back down to the German zone. 58 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden with the man advantage. Kent Nielsen out to the center ice area, coming down in over the line, drops it back. Taking it there is Thomas Eriksson. Eriksson dumps it back into the corner along the boards as they fight for it. Puck goes to Kent Nielsen. Here is a shot. Friesen the save. That came right from the blue line as Eldebrink let it go. Making a shot. Nielsen banned on it. Goes into the corner. Germany trying to kill off the penalty. There's 22 seconds remaining. Here's Eldebrink coming down in over the line, and he was sent flying. Puck is shot off the boards, back down to the Swedish zone again. 9 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sweden, the man advantage. A forward pass right onto the stick of Friesen, and he hangs on to force a face-off. We're in the dying minutes of the third period. Sweden leads Germany. The score is 4-2.
There's a time we all know when everyone does their best and everything comes together and you leave all the rest. You're number one at what you do. Number one, these spots for you.
Yeah, Budweiser with the distinctively clean, smooth Beechwood aged taste that's made it #1, the world's most popular beer.
And all you do, these spots for you.
7:44 remaining. 4-2 the score. Sweden leading Germany. They have outshot Germany 31-21 to the right of Carl Friesen.
I'm sure Leif Bork, the Swedish coach, is much more relaxed after this 2-goal lead.
The penalty just about up. 1 second remaining, and Germany back at full strength. Here's a blistering drive and a save by Friesen on a shot from Bo Eriksson.
Carl Friesen out the top of the crease here, gets good side of the puck. Good shot by Bo Eriksson, and fortunate thing that he did hang on the rebound because the Swedish player was sitting just off the corner of the net for the rebound.
Friesen was quick in that grab. Now we have a face-off to his right. Trying to put the pressure on, loose puck. It's recovered as Germany comes out. Passing over on the left side. Meidinger could not get to it in time. Sweden's awfully quick in getting back, Don.
Well, that's a big concern. They don't want to give the Germans any opportunities at all. And as you can see there, Peter Lindmark's going to hang on to everything. He just wants to stop the play. Let's get set up in our own end, and let's not give them many opportunities. I'm sure the Unsen, the German coach, is very, very concerned. He's got to get 2 goals somehow. And who's going to be the big man? Who could be that leader on the German bench? who does he put on the ice at the right opportunity? A lot of decisions in a coach's mind to be concerned about right now.
Face off in Swedish territory, and the puck goes back behind Lindmark. Out to center. Germany forced back onside. Gerd Trunchka drops it back. Here's a pass to Trunchka up in over the line. He was checked from behind. Pat Sundstrom passing it over on the right side. Peter Anderson carrying it in over the line. Anderson is back behind Friesen. Loose puck, he lost it. And it comes back out to center. Dropping it back to the blue line. Coming down in over the line. A shot. Lindmark lost that one on a good drive by Gerd Trunchka. Puck comes back to the German line. Pass off the boards. Trunchka couldn't get to it in time. And Germany is forced back. Peter Sharp out to center. Forward pass. Up in over the line. Marcus Kuhl was checked. Sweden comes roaring back. Kent Nielsen up in over the line. Nielsen, he was checked from behind. Peter Sharp has it back behind his own goal. Ernst Tuchner down the right side, and the puck is dumped back to Swedish territory. Behind his own goal, off the boards. Thomas Eriksson shot it forward, and we have a whistle on the play with 5:47 remaining. 4-2, Sweden leads Germany, third period.
If you think boxing is tough, take a look at this. The action is always fast and furious on TSN's Full Contact Karate. As you can see, it's a sport that excels in quick thinking, timing, agility, and brute strength. Each week, the Professional Karate Association provides top caliber opponents in what has become North America's fastest growing ring sport.
Face-off will take place at the German blue line. Puck comes out just outside of the blue line. It is drilled back down and over the line by Thomas Steen. Puck in German territory. They seem to be bunching up, though, Donnie, having a little difficulty getting organized.
Well, they certainly are, but maybe the people at home are really wondering why the German team just hasn't been able to penetrate the the Swedish blue line. It's because when they're coming into their own end, the Swedes have got little hooks on them, just slowing them down. It gets very, very frustrating.
Kent Nielsen goes back in over the German line, in along the boards, and it's touched.
Roger Nielsen is famous for coaching his teams like this. It makes for sometimes frustrating hockey for the opposition. I know that when you don't have skating room and you feel like the guy is on top of you all the time, you just don't feel like you have anywhere to go.
There's 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Kent Nielsen goes to the Swedish bench. He's seen lots of ice time in this hockey game.
Well, Leif Bork is saying that Kent Nielsen and Mats Naslund and Thomas Gradin have certainly been leaders, and that's what the Swedish team was looking for.
Back to the blue line. Here is a drive. That went off a skate as Niederberger let it go. Way out of his goal. Nearly getting caught right in front. A shot. Friesen got back in time. Here's another drive. That went wide from the blue line as Mats Thelin let a quick shot go. Here's another shot. That went off a leg. Loose puck in front. Germany having difficulty clearing it out. A drive again. Hit the goal post. Gustafsson hit the goal post. Is in German territory. Fighting for it along the boards. Kiesling held it to force a face-off with 4 minutes 29 seconds remaining in the hockey game.
Well, maybe Carl Friesen got a little fortune there. Or sometimes when your defensemen just aren't moving that puck out in front of your net, you have a tendency for a goaltender to just do it too much. And he made one big save, and then the next shot hit the post. And sometimes you just try and be a little bit too aggressive and trying out to help out the team just a little too much to get a little out of position.
Time running out on Sweden and Germany. Third period action, 4:21. Germany down by 2 goals. One power play goal. That took place in the third period. Hockenloob scored a power play goal.
The German team seems to be getting a little frustrated with the tight forechecking and defensive play of the Swedish team.
Matt Sundstrom will take the face-off for Sweden against Gerd Trunchka. Now they won't do it. They're waved out of the face-off circle. A shot that went wide. Puck goes back into the corner along the boards. Here's a drive. Oh, just over the head of Carl Friesen. Sweden starting to put the pressure on now. Here's another shot, a bouncing puck. That just went wide. They fight for it along the boards, and it's held to force a face-off. And so we have 3:49 remaining. Sweden 4, Germany 2 in the third period.
Skimming the waves like a bird on a wing. Grab on tight, get a hold of that thing. We're hopping away, trying to get through the blue. Keeping friends close, making the most of those blue sky days. And blue smiles along with you. The taste keeps coming on through. That's blue smiles along with you.
This faceoff is going to go to the left of Carl Friesen. Sweden 4, Germany 2. We've got 3:47 remaining. Germany trying to clear it out. It is knocked down at center by Thomas Eriksson. Loose puck, shot back down in over the line. Here's a quick drive high over the head of Peter Lindmark. Comes bouncing back to the blue line. Trying to keep it in is Peter Sharp. Loose puck outside of the Swedish line. Eldebrink comes over on the left side. Puck comes back down at the line. Coming over the line is Hupner. Hupner's shot went wide. And certainly the action has slowed down somewhat now. Coming down, Carl Friesen clears it away. Mats Naslund has done an outstanding job for Team Sweden today.
Certainly been a big performer out there, and certainly the needed leadership that the Swedish team needs.
And I also like for Germany, I think Hupner has done very well playing for Germany today. He's seen a lot of ice time for the Germans.
Well, he's certainly been a big performer, and so has Carl Friesen. Carl Friesen has done some very big saves, and the game could be a little bit of a blow, maybe if it weren't for him.
Kiesling shot it down to Swedish territory. There's 2 minutes, 29 seconds remaining. 4-2 the score. Sweden leading Germany. And the puck comes back down to the right of goaltender Peter Lindmark. It is touched, so icing will be called against Germany.
I'm sure the big concern on the mind of Swedish coach Leif Bork is just make sure you don't give the Germans anything offensively. Make sure you're in position, 5 men in your own zone, and if you haven't got a play, either get a face-off or dump it out and take an icing call. Leif Bork using the experience of the NHL players here at the end of the game.
Puck goes to the right of Carl Friesen in German territory. Taking it off the boards is Michael Telvin. Back behind the goal, Telvin now drops it back into the corner. Pat Sundstrom goes into the corner. Taking it away was Udo Kiesling. Out to the center ice area in front of the German bench. It is shot up to the German blue line. Niederberger now. Lost it. It comes in over the line. Loose puck knocked down. Starting out is Dieter Hagen. Up at the line. It is fired forward. Thomas Gradin failed to click with a pass. At the line, it is lobbed down to the left of Friesen. There is a minute, 19 remaining here in the third period. Rink-wide pass on the right side. Coming down at the line, Dieter Hagen was stopped. It is backhanded back near the center ice area again. Lobbed high, a bouncing puck, and coming back for it is Hagen.
Certainly as expected, Ron. The Swedish team hoping to pay off in the German mistakes, but playing tight defensively.
54 seconds remaining. At the line, he was stopped. Hagen couldn't get anywhere with it. Long pass up to Hakan-Lube. Lube carries it down in over the line, goes into the corner. Nilsson in front of the net. Hakan-Lube dropped back to the point. Eriksson in front. A shot tipped wide. 35 seconds remaining. Back to center ice. Cleared to the center ice red line as Sweden seems now to be running out the clock. They're all the way back into their own zone. Off the boards on the right wing. It is knocked down by Joachim Ryle for Germany. Comes back to the German line. And coming back behind his own goal was Berndanner. Shot rink wide. We've only got 4 seconds remaining. And Sweden will win this one. And there goes the horn. The game is over. Don?
Well, Ron, Sweden could certainly have 6 points in this series. They've had a disappointing performance against USA, played well against the Soviet Union, won the game against Canada, and then a pretty good performance today. They maybe weren't quite as strong offensively what they really wanted, but played a very good, tight defensive style and good confidence going in against the next opponent.
Well, I know Germany will be disappointed, but again, in that third period, they didn't seem to be able to mount any strong offensive power. Once they lost that one goal on a power play in that third period, then again, I find that the European teams have a tendency to step back and let the other team carry the play to them.
Well, maybe it's just a little bit of the lack of experience. I know in Germany there's quite a few NHL pros, former pros over there playing and helping out the youngsters, but at the same time, it's only a country of 20,000 hockey players, and it's not a great majority of players to draw from.
Well, you can see the players now congratulating each other. And the red carpet now is being rolled out below our broadcast area, and that will be where the official presentation takes place for the most valuable player of the game from both Germany and for Sweden. Right now, let's go for that official announcement.
Player of the Game awards, Mr. Wally Bentley, Southern Regional Sales Manager, Labatt's Alberta Breweries. Mr. Bentley. The Labatt's Player of the Game for Sweden will receive an Eskimo carving provided through the courtesy of Esso. Number 26, Mats Naslund. The Labatt's Player of the Game for the Federal Republic of Germany, number 24, Helmut Steiger. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Bentley. Hockey Canada and Labatt's thank you for your attendance and invite you to continue to follow Canada Cup 84 on CTV.
Well, the official presentations have now taken over, and they got a beautiful Canon camera, the player of the game, and a magnificent Eskimo carving. So the valuable player awards have now been presented to both Germany and to Sweden, and this hockey game is over. And Don Edwards, I know that Germany, of course, disappointed, but again, Team Sweden, I think this season is proving that they certainly belong in Canada Cup 84. They're playing a much more aggressive brand of hockey. They can go either way, either put on strong offense or a good defense. We saw it there. They stood up at the blue line and they stopped Germany when they needed those valuable goals. They stopped them right at their own blue line.
Well, Coach Leif Bork, the Swedish team, definitely said that that was one of the things they really worked on was good defensive hockey. The thing that was lacking maybe was the needed leader, and certainly with people like Naslund, Nielsen, and Gradin taking the leadership roles, experienced NHLers, that's the thing they were looking for, and they certainly got it.
All right, the final score here in Calgary, Sweden beats Germany. Final score, Sweden 4, Germany 2.
You're a whole new generation. You're loving what I do. I put a Pepsi in the motion. choice is up to you. Hey, you're the best generation. 'Cause I'm down and taste the thrill of the day. And feel the Pepsi way. You're a whole new generation.
From women's bodybuilding to the National Water Cannonball Championship and everything in between, TSN Sports World International is a potpourri of events. As you can see, we travel the world to provide you with coverage of unique and fascinating sports, ranging from the familiar to the less known. Welcome back to TSN Control. There you see the first period scoring summary. Sweden's Mats Naslund got things underway at 2:11 of the first period with his first goal of the tournament to give Sweden a 1-0 lead. 3 goals in the second, 2 of them by Germany. Steiger, an unassisted goal at 9:18 to tie the game at 1. And then Marcus Kuhl from with good forechecking in the Swedish zone makes it 2-1 for Germany at the 10:26 mark. But less than a minute after that, Mats Naslund and Kent Nilsson set up Thomas Steen for his first goal of the tournament to tie the game after 2 periods at 2. A pair of goals by the Swedes in the third. Håkan Loob at 1:35 on the power play from the side of the net gives Sweden the 1-goal lead, and that was the eventual game winner. Then Mats Naslund sets up Bengt Gustafsson for his goal, his second of the game at 4:41. Sweden went on to win. The final score was 4-2, and they dominated play pretty well throughout the contest over the Germans. Germany did have their chances in the second period, as you can see by the shots on goal. 13-9 in favor of Sweden in the second, 10-9 in the third, for a total of 34-23. Again, the final score, Sweden over Germany from the Saddle Dome in Calgary. The final was 4-2, and the victory certainly puts the Swedes in very good position. They are, as we saw in the standings a couple of minutes ago, they are ahead of Team Canada now, and I would imagine that Sweden will be cheering for Czechoslovakia in the game tonight when Canada and the Czechs get together.
They sure will. A lot of pressure on Team Canada, more than they even had prior to today's game. It's going to be very interesting.
Roger, tonight's game, looking ahead to Canada and Czechoslovakia, a crucial one for Canada, as we mentioned earlier.
Well, the Swedes could be in and Canada could be out. Canada really has to win that game tonight. The Swedes get a second chance, even if you know, they get a chance against the Czechs tomorrow night. But it doesn't look good for Canada right now, and they've got to win tonight's game, saying everything rides on this game.
It would almost be an embarrassing situation if Canada did not make it to the playoff round of their own tournament. This would be this being the third one. They at least have made it to the finals. They won it the first time, lost to the Soviets the second time, and if they did make it this time, especially after saying that they've got the best team that they've ever had, it would be pretty embarrassing.
A Canada Cup without Canada would be amazing.
Bruce, the game tonight between the Soviets and the States, the one that's coming up later on TSN here at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, is going to be, I think, could be one of the best games of the tournament overall.
No question. It's been building. It's interesting that in past Canada Cups, there seemed to be a lull later on, and as you get into the 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th games, that they just kind of flattened out. But USA being so much stronger this year, that's just what's happened. It's building more than it ever has, and with, I guess maybe with Team Canada being, I was going to say being a little weaker, maybe I shouldn't say that, but not having won when it was expected they would, it sure has made for quite a series down to the wire.
Okay, Bruce, we are standing by now with Ron Hewitt and Don Edwards standing by at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta. They have one of the stars of Team Sweden standing by with a brief post-game interview. Let's now go to the Saddle Dome with Ron Hewitt and Kent Nilsson of Sweden.
A 4-2 victory by Sweden over Germany, and one of the men responsible, of course, for the tremendous reaction by the crowd here, because he is a favorite, is Kent Nilsson. And Kent, another good victory for Sweden. The momentum is going. You beat Canada, now you beat Germany, and on you go. What did you think about today's game?
It wasn't beautiful, but we got the 2 points we needed, and if Canada does what they have to do, we're in the playoffs.
Don Edwards, I know that you noticed that Sweden played a more defensive game once they got ahead by standing up at the blue line and stopping the Germans.
Well, I certainly noticed that they were standing up, but more importantly, I thought there was the thing that Leif Bork, the Swedish coach, were doing. He had Kent and Håkan Loob killing penalties, and along with Patrick and Patty Sundstrom and Peter Sundstrom. And I was just wondering if Kent, if this was done on purpose because their familiarity.
Lube and I have been killing penalties since the training camp started, and Peter and Patrick have been killing penalties together all life. And it's right, we tried to play a little defensive game like we did against the Russians and Canada, but in the first 5 minutes we played so well, so we got a little cocky and we got away from our game plan. And then in the second period we got back into it again, and we played not a beautiful game, but we played okay.
First of all, Germany didn't seem to be able to score when they had the power play advantage. But then again, I thought there were some foolish penalties taken, Kent, by both teams today. Really, you can't afford those penalties in Canada Cup play.
No, you can't. Every team has so good power players, and if we take these kind of penalties against Canada or Russia, we lose the game.
All right, what do you think your chances are now, Kent? You've had victories. You were really lifted up with that victory over Canada. I know that was a surprise, I think. And now Germany, you have beaten them. How do you feel? How does the team feel?
We feel pretty good. We set a goal before we went over, and everybody expects us to beat States at home in Europe anyways, but not over here because they don't know how good the States are. And even if we're going to lose that game, we're going to keep going and try to win against Russia or Canada. And we did that, and now we have a big chance to get in the playoffs. And from now on, it's probably going to be only one game, and anything can happen in one game in the semifinals.
Ken, maybe one of the things that I'm wondering is the leadership role that maybe you're trying to play in the Swedish dressing room. They were a little concerned that maybe the Swedish team had lack of leaders. Maybe you can sort of emphasize that.
Maybe that's right. We're so close together, and we're like a family. Maybe we're a little more little bad guys that start to gel and get everybody else going. But after the first period tonight, our line we got a lot of shit because we didn't play very well. So in the second period, we picked up, and I thought we turned the game around.
Kent, tell me, your line tonight particularly, when you're out on the power play and so on, you seem to be able to take your time. I noticed that you were trying to draw the check into the corner. There really wasn't that much pressure put on by the Germans.
No, we tried to settle the game, get time in there, and try to play the plays we have been practicing for 2 months now, and but today it didn't work. We only scored one power play goal, and that was a mistake of the Germans. And we got to have a lot better power play, and we got to kill a lot better penalties if we're going to win this tournament.
Kent, I know you're tired. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us, and again, congratulations. Team Sweden really on a roll now after the Canadian victory and now after the German victory, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Kent Nilsson. We'll be back, but right now, let's go back to Jim Van Horn.
Thank you very much, Ron. Bruce, the game we saw today was a typical European style of hockey game, the two European teams, but tonight's game, USSR and America, could be somewhat different.
Oh, yes. I think, you know, we might be seeing the preliminary to the final. Team USA playing so well, gaining confidence all the time, using their North American style, and, of course, the Soviet Union, the typical European game where they're buzz around, pass, and I think that we should really watch to see what is going to happen, because it could be the stage for the game which is going to be next week, the final.
Roger, we have some highlights to look at from the final period of play. The quick counter, as you call it, when the Swedes all of a sudden turn from defense to offense and bring the play back towards the Germans.
I think this is the one thing the excuse me, that the Germans feared, was that they would let the Swedes get out in the open, and the Germans they had the puck at center ice. And all of a sudden, they lost the puck quickly. And this is a sign of a good team, is when they're on the defense here, as the Swedes were in this area, and all of a sudden they recovered the puck. And you'll see Gustafsson just took off down the boards. They got the puck over to him quickly, and he did something you've got to do offensively to score goals, is go to the net with the puck. Now, Naslund also hustled to get there. Now, you would expect he'd be coming for a rebound, but with the Swedes, of course, they always make that one extra play. And so we'll see a great pass across here in the goal. You would prefer, I suppose, as a coach, to see Gustafsson go right in and have Naslund fall for the rebound. But the Swedes always make the extra play, and this time it paid off. So if we go to the replay now, we'll see this quick counter where the Swedes go to offense very quickly, and that's the sign of a good team. Here they recover the puck. You can't see Gustafsson right now, but he's spinning out. And you'll see the wide pass, and this is what they have to do to get by that slow German defense. A little pick there at the blue line, too. And this is going to put Gustafson right in on goal. And he sees he's getting cut off a little, and he elects to make the pass, and in it goes.
It appeared that that goal went in. Actually, the goaltender pushed it into his own net when you saw the replay from behind. And it was a very timely goal. That was actually the insurance goal that they needed late in that game.
Now, Bruce and I watched the replay very closely, and we thought maybe it was the defenseman or the goalkeeper. But I think Naslund did actually touch the puck after he went over it a few times. So it was a great play. The other one we want to show you is the Magic Man in action. And Kent Nilsson, as you know, is one of the best stick handlers in hockey. And but he never likes to take a shot. And we're ready for it now, and I think we'll just go right to the replay and watch the Magic Man in action. I think we can just sit back and watch him. He can keep the puck all night. Now all of a sudden the Germans decide to make a change, a very sloppy change, and we have a 3-on-2. And look at this opportunity to shoot. But as so often happens, the Magic Man often fails to complete his act.
Nilsson last year in Calgary was notorious for that. He would have so many chances. He would be coming down either wide on one side or the other and then get ready to let her go, and all of a sudden he'd change his mind and turn back in the opposite direction and wait for his wingers to catch up to him, so you never knew which way he was going to go. But again, if Sweden does have a chance to get, and they do have a chance to get into the playoffs, let's take a look at this now, because it's starting to get mathematical and a little more complicated, Bruce. If Canada loses tonight, then if Czechoslovakia wins, it looks like Canada will have a tough time making the playoffs because they will still be behind Sweden. Is that correct?
That's
And they
right.
have to beat Russia.
Have to beat the Soviet Union.
Beat
and
Russia to get in.
That's what's going to make it very tough. If they don't win tonight, they're going to be on the sidelines watching in the finals, I'm sure.
Now, what about Sweden? Who do they play next, and who do they have to beat to get into the playoffs?
Sweden has to play Czechoslovakia. And it could come down to that game deciding which of those two end up in the playoffs, too.
Well, with Sweden winning today, and if Canada loses to the Czechs tonight, and if Czechoslovakia wins again, that will put them ahead of Canada. And if they beat the Swedes, that means that the Czechs will be into the playoffs, and it will be the Soviets, the Americans, the Czechs, and probably Sweden.
Yes.
So it's getting to a situation where Canada is really going to have to pull out their socks. What are they going to have to do against Czechoslovakia tonight to pull out a win? Because the Czechs aren't as defensively strong as the United States. They don't have the goaltending that the States does. But it's going to be a situation where they're really going to have to really go for it all the way.
Well, you can be sure the Swedes will all be rooting for Canada tonight, because if Canada wins, the Swedes are in, no matter what happens. And for Canada to win tonight, I think they've got to get their power play going. Now, I don't know what adjustments they're going to make. They've got to shoot the puck. They're ad-libbing on the power play. And let's face it, the Oilers always ad-lib on their power play, and with Gretzky and Curry and Coffey and the rest of them, they end up with probably the best power play in the league. But when it comes down to playoffs, sometimes the Oiler power play sputters too, because the other teams are really bearing down penalty killing. And I think they've got to come up with a plan for their power play. The other thing is, I like their setup of lines a little better than I read in the paper today. It looks like Bossy's going to be able to play in Middleton his back, and if they get their four lines going, I think we can probably expect a big game from Peter Stastny, and I think they can do it tonight.
Bruce, a quick comment on the officiating tonight. Are you expecting a chippy type of a game?
Well, I think in both the games to come tonight, there's got to be the North American team's got to be hitting, if for no other reason, to keep them awake and keep them in the game.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing from Roger and Bruce a little later on tonight for the hockey game between the United States and the Soviets. We'll be back with more right after this.
Ask us about CN. All 150 of us. We're all here because you helped to modernize our dockyard. Built a machine to lift ships out of the water so we can work on them. A vote of confidence. Without it, we might not be here. Ask us in Newfoundland, CN. We know who you're in business for.
When you buy a new car, you want to keep it looking new. And that's easy with Armor All Protectant. A scientific formula that took a polymer chemist 10 years to develop. It helps keep rubber, vinyl, leather, and plastic looking new. So even though you can't keep your car from getting old, you can keep it from looking old. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
Style, grace, and that special bond between man and horse is what makes an equestrian event something very unique to watch. TSN is very proud to be bringing you the International Jumping Derby from Newport, Rhode Island. Gold and silver medalists from the Olympics will compete in this prestige event. Treat yourself to something really special, the International Jumping Derby from Newport, Rhode Island.
Ron Hewitt along with Don Edwards, and of course the chairman of Canada Cup 1984 is Alan Eagleson. And Alan, I know that you're a little upset after what happened to Canada the other night. Of course, all eyes coast to coast in our country on the Canadians, and what are they going to do?
I hope they're going to win. We have to win one of the next two to be guaranteed a place in the playoffs. Aesthetically, the tournament's a success, but it won't be a success as far as I'm concerned until and unless Canada makes the semifinals and then makes the finals.
Al, it seems that all the other teams have more time together, but again, they've already started the fact that Canada simply doesn't have enough time together to gel as a team.
Well, we did it in '76, we did it in '81, and there's a team called Team USA that started training camp the same day we did. That's a very weak excuse. If our players are using that, or if the press and media are using that, they're kidding themselves. Our team simply is not playing up to its level of ability, and it's as clear and concise as that.
Certainly, this is the best team I think you put together, though. As far as the top professionals we have, the top hockey players, when you look at the roster, Al, it has to be the best.
I look back to the '76 team as the best team that I've ever seen wear the Canada sweaters, when we had Lapointe and Orr and Savard, Potvin, all at their peak, and a red-hot goaltender in Rogie Vachon. We need to get some red-hot goaltending and some good scoring. Somebody asked me, what's wrong with our team? I said, well, there are only two things. We're not getting enough goals for us, and we're getting too many against us. If Reggie can get a shutout tonight, surely to goodness one of our guys can kick one in, and we win, and we're in the playoffs, and then it's an entirely new game, and we'll start from scratch.
And, of course, the other thing is USA has improved tremendously. What a hockey team they've put together.
Their big advantage, of course, starts between the pipes, and young Tom Barrasso, 19 years old, has proved to everyone that he is the, at this point at least, the goaltender of the 80s. And if he continues to improve, Team USA is going to not only be a dark horse threat, they're going to be the odds-on favorite to win all this.
Well, Al, again, congratulations. Another successful Canada Cup '84. It came around so fast and so on, but I know that you're pleased with the organization. I know you're pleased with the cooperation you've had. Germany has proved they belong in the tournament, and we saw today they played very well. So, again, good luck for the remainder of the tournament, and I know you got to go back and say something to the boys in Canada. Thank you, Alan Eagleson, the chairman.
Thank you very much.
Alan Eagleson, the chairman of Canada Cup '84. And now, from Calgary, for Don Edwards, this is Ron Hewitt, wishing you a very pleasant good night on TSN on Canada Cup '84.